Well, what is up, EKN Nation? Hello. Another great evening here. Our second part of our EKN OutLap podcast as we prepare for SuperNationals number 24, the Superkarts USA finale of the season. Didn't have the race last year. Finally back at it. My name's Rob Haddon. David Cole alongside. Well, kind of alongside. I'm in Seattle. He's in Grand Rapids right now. David, great show yesterday, about 90 minutes long. This one could be a bit longer. More categories, more guests. Great way to start things off, though. But yeah, we kind of threw the green flag on our coverage for the SuperNationals. It's time to go to work, isn't it?
Yeah, it was green. We went all day yesterday. We had a great show yesterday with three different guests: Nick Tucker, Aiden Rudolph, and Caleb Gaffera. It was a great show. Got to talk to them about the SuperNationals and really got to just preview of things to come. At least almost half the categories that are going to compete at this year's SuperNationals. And now we're getting into the senior and master divisions, the rough and tough, the stacked fields that we're going to have here at SuperNationals.
Elbows up. For those of you maybe watching one of these podcasts or one of these shows for the first time, really, we've moved it over. This is kind of an evolution. We've been doing a lot of these face-to-face shows here on our YouTube channel. We're going to start doing more of these. David said, hey, let's do our OutLap podcast. Let's just do it for the SuperNats on YouTube. We'll turn it into a podcast later, but let's bring some guests in. Let's have a chance to talk to some people. And obviously, yesterday's went really, really well, and I know it's something we'll do more of in 2022. So, again, we will turn this into a podcast. Those of you who may want to listen to it on the way to work or coming home, whatever it may be. We will say, you can see the logo right there. Big thank you to Trinity Karting Group for being a presenting sponsor of this particular show. So let's have a quick plug here for Trinity Karting Group, who are the first step on the ladder to racing success. Trinity Karting Group is based at Motorsports Country Club of Cincinnati, and they literally have a track in their backyard and a controlled environment to develop your skills. Trinity Karting Group flattens out the steep learning curve with a professional staff that will put you on the right path. The focus is driver development, and they compete at the local, regional, and national levels, including the Superkarts USA Pro Tour and the United States Pro Kart Series. They have new and used packages available, and they are your Midwest source for Kart Republic chassis and IAME engines. Visit them at teamtkg.com or call 513-421-4463. Sean Bailiff and the whole crew, David at Trinity Karting Group, awesome folks. But let's get at it. We're essentially talking about the Superkarts USA SuperNationals 24, the date December 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. It was going to be the Rio All-Suite Hotel and Casino. We're going to the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Big changes over the last couple of weeks. A lot of backstory that we're not going to bring up here. That's something we can unpack later because right now it's really not. We're going racing, and kudos to SCUSA for being able to put something together. Wholesale changes within like 3 weeks of the event, where we're at two different hotels, the Resorts World and Westgate, David, and a brand new, essentially temporary circuit that they're building out at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
Yeah, outside NASCAR Turn 3 is where the track's going to be situated. We've actually been to Las Vegas Motor Speedway in the past. We've had two events there with the Stars of Karting event, actually inside the oval there, utilizing the garages that NASCAR does use. This one's going to be very similar to what you've seen in the past, where it's a parking lot. It's a parking lot event. We're going to have a good paddock space. We're going to have a good racetrack, a very similar racetrack that has been utilized in 2018 and 2019 at the Rio. So it's essentially pick up and move it north about 18 miles.
That's it. Yeah, that's exactly that. Move your hotel rooms, pick the racetrack up, and we're going back at it again. So it's essentially going to be the same racetrack that we're going to run anyways. So really not that much has changed as opposed to maybe the background of some of the photography that you'll see. This outlap, as David had mentioned, essentially the senior categories: Master Shifter, X30 Masters, Pro Shifter, K100, and X30 Senior. Man, it's so much stuff to blend in here now. Just my mind's mush. We talked a bit about the racetrack itself. Same layout, David, that we saw in 2018, 2019. Basically the same schedule you mentioned yesterday if you watched the show. A little bit different in terms of qualifying with some of the classes. There's a new format where they're going to split the classes up into two groups. So just 5-minute sessions for those categories, which I like, a lot quicker. I think that's a lot better. Let's talk weather, though. Let's do that in this particular show. Man, I tell you, when they said the first week of December, I was like, I'm bringing the lawn johns. I'm bringing all my ski gear with me because it's going to be cold. Man, it's going to be 60s to 70s. I don't think they could have asked for much better weather. Sunny every day, they're saying.
I mean, it is Las Vegas, so you're going to expect the sun. Yes, we've had some bad instances for the SuperNationals, and even in 2019 on the opening day, it was not exactly Vegas weather. So luckily, right now, the forecast, we looked at it yesterday. I'm looking at it, see if it updated at all, but it's still the same, still showing perfect weather, 70s to 60s, lows in the high or low 50s to high 40s. So same weather.
We'll take it. We mentioned this yesterday as well. Good numbers in the event, even with some of the changes that were going on, coming off of the COVID hiatus from last year where we didn't have the 24th running. First time in all, 24 years where we weren't able to get a race in since 1997. 493 pre-entries that we had logged from Superkarts USA. There's always a couple of guys that drop out, and there's always a bunch of guys that enter late. So we'll see if they're able to break that magic 500 mark, but anything over 450, obviously a huge event for not only Superkarts USA, but for the industry as well. Master Shifter looking at about 17, X30 Masters at 39, almost that full field in the X30 Masters class. David, the Whopper is KA100 Senior and X30 Senior. KA100 Senior, 92 entries, 86 for X30 Senior. And listen, obviously, SCUSA making a big move in terms of bringing the shifter categories together. Gearbox with KZ and 175 IAME SSE, 51 or 52 entries, pre-entries. That's awesome for shifter kart racing under the SCUSA banner.
Yeah, it's great. It's exactly what we wanted to see. I mean, we did see that when they had the Pro 1 and Pro 2. We saw a full field that way. Now we're getting, the KZ and the IAME SSE engine together. And again, they're letting the racers decide what they want to do with it, and we're getting some international drivers over as well too. I know we're possibly gonna lose a couple due to international travel bans or restrictions for certain countries. We'll obviously talk to somebody a little bit later about that as well too. But I think overall you got to be pleased with the numbers, because again, we could have a whole lot more of an international contingent here in Las Vegas for the SuperNationals. So, I see it as, a stepping stone to what could be even bigger for 2022 and 2023.
Yeah, with those big numbers, of course, in the KA100 Senior and X30 Senior categories, we're going to have those LCQs, which are a lot of fun to watch. And listen, all that, you're going to be able to, number one, hear and watch. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, EKN Live, as we always do. We'll have our live audio. You'll be able to tune into ekartingnews.com/live. Big thank you to the broadcast partners we have so far. The Alan Rudolph Racing Academy stepping up as being one of our primary, our title sponsor for this particular year. Acceleration Kart Racing back as our presenting sponsor for Super Sunday, again, as they have before. More sponsors coming on board, Kartlift being one of them. Big shout out to everyone at Kartlift. So more sponsors, more partners being added to that. But Dave, one thing is going to be interesting. I think we saw it last year, or 2 years ago. It was cold, struggled with my voice a little bit. I'm going to be smarter this year, but we're bringing in someone to help us out, which I think will be cool. Our good friend for many, many years, Mike Smith from CalSpeed. He jumped on the mic at CalSpeed a couple of times and found it to his liking, came to us and said, hey, man, I'd love to be involved. So, this is a guy we know that's a hardcore racer as well. So he's going to join me throughout the weekend, time to time, as an analyst, help do some play-by-play as well. But it'll be cool to see Mike in a different role with us this coming, next weekend, I guess it will be.
And he'll actually have the racer's perspective. He raced there in 2019. He's done a lot of racing this year. I raced against him at the Cup Karts North America Grand Nationals. Actually beat him. So I have beat him, and I've not beat you, Rob. But we'll fix that. We'll fix that for next year.
Shout out to Mike Smith right there. Thanks for the opportunity. We look forward to having you. Listen, man, this is a 9 o'clock in the morning to 6, 7 o'clock at night thing for us at the track side before we even go home and we'll start working on race reports and our debriefs at the end of the day. So we gotta like the people that we hang around with the entire time, right? So good to have Mike with us, a good friend of ours. So I'm having fun. It should be good. I've had a chance. You look back at some of the guys that we've had, David, on the broadcast with us. Be it Tony Laporta, be it Xander Clemens. Situation Saturday, we used to drag Chris Wheeler's ass up into the booth every once in a while, right? He coined that Situation Saturday. It'll be somebody new this year. So Mike Smith joining us, which I think will be a lot of fun.
Somebody older too, because he is a Masters guy. Those guys were all younger. Yeah. So, two old guys, and I'm the younger guy, I guess.
He'll be the younger guy. We pause for this quick commercial break. Stay tuned for more here on the EKN Radio Network. Leading Edge Motorsports is the industry answer to winning in karting. At the helm is industry veteran Greg Bell, who has orchestrated the success of many drivers dating back to the mid-1990s. Based in Lodi, California, Leading Edge Motorsports is the Western importer with IP karting that includes the Praga and Formula K chassis brands. Leading Edge Motorsports provides in-depth driver development for those racers in Northern California and across the country. Arrive and drive services, kart preparation, and driver coaching are available under the LEM tent throughout the season. Bell's record of working with drivers includes recent victories at North America's biggest karting events, including the Rock the Rio and the SUSA SuperNationals. Greg Bell's knowledge for building engines spans 2 decades and is now under the Mega Power branding, providing a reliable engine service and tuning knowledge. No matter the chassis brand, choose Mega Power to get to the front. Click over to leadingedgemotorsports.com for more and find them on social media to stay connected. At Leading Edge Motorsports, winning never gets old. In Colorado, the place to go for karts and parts and everything else you need to go racing is Forward Direction Motorsports. It's Colorado's premier karting company. Owned and operated by veteran karter Greg Welch, Forward Direction Motorsports is located in Centennial, Colorado. FDM has been developed to provide customer service and product sales at all levels and in both in-person and online. We're a brick and mortar shop that serves as the hub for karting in Colorado, and we're a gateway to new racers who can come in and learn about the sport. We also have an online store and can ship all over the country. We can also service all makes and models of engines and karts. Whatever you race, we can take care of you. Forward Direction Motorsports is a comp kart dealer, an authorized Rotax service center, and we can fully support all Briggs 206 racers. We support local karting 100%, and we also have a race team that takes our customers to major regional and national events on the West Coast. From kart prep and coaching to full arrive and drive packages, we offer something for everyone. You don't have to live in Colorado to experience Full Direction Motorsports' vast experience or dedication to customer service. Our online store continues to expand its inventory, and the products you need are just a mouse click away. Head to fdmkarting.com the next time you need parts and equipment fast. We ship daily. Shop online or come to the store to check out our inventory and visit our service department. Head to fdmkarting.com to learn more about our products and services or call us direct at 720-323-3650. The Briggs & Stratton 206 engine is where out-of-the-box ease and outstanding consistency meet to create legendary races. Briggs & Stratton's history in motorsports dates back to when the first engines came off the assembly line in the early 1900s. Their focus on the grassroots level continues to help build generations of racers. Since 2008, the Briggs & Stratton 206 has gained a following that has the engine powering the largest fields in North American karting today. From the club level track programs to traveling regional series and national events, Briggs & Stratton competition provides the most exciting racing in the sport. Engineered and hand-built exclusively for racing, every Briggs & Stratton 206 engine is power tested and serialized before it goes in the box. Karters can take that engine straight from the box to their kart and be on the podium at the end of race day. Be sure to follow Briggs & Stratton Racing on Facebook and through @RaceBriggs on Instagram. To learn more about the 206 engine or to find the North American dealer near you, head to BriggsRacing.com. Briggs & Stratton Racing, what powers you? Speaking of old guys, let's jump in and do this right now. Let's start the first preview. Let's talk about Master Shifter, the category presented by RLV. That's the sponsor of the class for the weekend. 17 entries in Master Shifter. And again, part of that kind of shift of where the Masters drivers are running. In previous SuperNats, again, we've had Master Shifter. It's been called G1 for a time. It was S4. There was a G2 category for the Supermasters guys in 2019 as well. But, David, we got some previous winners in the field. Two of them, of course, two of the best drivers in Masters racing early. One best in Masters. Both were good pros back in the days as well. Ryan Kinnear and Joey Wimsett come into play. I think that's pretty cool to see them involved.
Yeah, Ryan Kinnear won in 2017 in the S4 division when we were last at the Westgate, the Las Vegas Convention Center area or parking lot there. Joey Wimsett, a new name to Masters category. This is going to be his debut in the Masters division. Again, won in the S1 division back in 2014. That was the same year he won $20,000 because he got I believe the $10 bonus for a Pro Tour driver to win at the SuperNationals, won the championship same weekend. Because again, SuperNats counted as a Pro Tour race. So it was a $20,000 win. I just wrote in the preview that'll be going up tomorrow. He's been top 10 in 7 of the last 8 SuperNationals in the Pro Shifter category. So you take that type of talent into the Master Shifter. It's very similar to what we saw when Jordan Musser moved over. Very similar to what we saw when Ryan Kinnear moved over.
Agreed, man. Like you look again, I've got David's notes here in the entry list, and you just look at the results: 1st, 4th, 5th, and so many top 10s for Joey Wimsett. He'll be definitely one to dive in. But David, the cool thing about this particular category is that we have had some drivers who have been superstars for a long time, right? Let's talk about the guy that comes in having won another Superkarts USA Pro Tour Points Championship in the Master Shifter class. Jordan Musser, right? He's definitely a guy that everybody's going to be chasing when we get onto the racetrack on Wednesday.
Yeah, he's got the podiums at the SuperNationals to match that. He's gotten 4 podiums in the last 4 SuperNationals. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's the one race he has not won yet. So that's the elephant in the room when you're talking about the Master Shifter category. It's the monkey on his back. He's trying to get it off. He won at Rock Vegas. It's actually him and Ryan Kinnear. So Musser won the first year in 2018. Kinnear won in 2019 and 2020. And then Musser won recently just this past October.
Yeah, so that's that head-to-head battle, and there's a lot more to come. Just looking at the Pro Tour, Scott Sketchy Barnes from Bermuda, who will be joining us here momentarily. Number 2 plate, Anthony Stifler finishing in 3rd in the championship. He's in the grid as well. 3 different drivers, David, though, from outside the United States, and 7 different countries represented in the field.
Yeah, so it's a good mixture of different drivers, and it's good to see some international again into the Masters Shifter category. It's something we saw. When G1 had the numbers of 60 drivers, when we saw a lot of when it was back with ICC, when drivers were coming from Europe and down other countries as well too. So it's a good mixture. But again, you kind of look at it. Barnes he's kind of that in between of everybody else. He's going to be right there with the Musser, the Kinnear, and the Wimsett. It's a matter of if he's going to be able to battle with them. And there's some other drivers as well, too, that could possibly be in there, too.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. One of the things we're going to do here, folks, during the show, if you didn't watch last night, is after we talked to Scott Barnes a little bit, David and I are going to throw out our top 5 predictions. Then while we're doing our predictions, we can look at the spreadsheet as well, throw out a couple other names that we think are going to be in the fight as opposed to doing it right now. So let's get started. Scott Sketchy Barnes waiting in Bermuda to come on the show here. Let's bring him in. Scott, how are you, my friend? Good to have you.
Doing good, guys. How you doing?
I'm good. We're good. Hey, listen. SuperNats is one of those races you love. It's normally on your birthday weekend, too. That's the crazy thing. It's not happening this year. But you get a chance to come back. You've had some highs and lows throughout the season. You've had some big races, able to win some stuff. Again, you're back at Rock Island once again, doing a bunch of races there. How big is the SuperNats? And all the races that you do, is the SuperNats the big one?
Of course. I mean, when you talk about karting in the USA, SuperNats is the Super Bowl, right? That's the biggest race of the year for karting in the USA. So it's always a race that I try to put on my schedule. It doesn't always happen, but it's a race that, everyone wants to win. Everyone wants to do good there. So if I could fit it in, it's a race that I want to race.
And last year, if I'm not mistaken, you were right in the middle of battling to be on the podium. I think you finished 6th, but you gave it a valiant effort in the last couple of laps there, not getting on the podium. How much did that sting back again, 2019? I say last year, but 2019. How much did that sting, and how much has it been eating away at you over the last 24 months?
A lot, actually. So I raced SuperNats in 2019, which was the last time we raced. I hadn't raced SuperNats since 2015, so I had a 4-year break from the biggest race of the year. Mm-hmm. Went there. It's the first time I had competed in the SCUSA Pro Tour full time. won the championship that year. No, sorry, that was next year. So anyway, go to SuperNats, not being there in 4 years, and come down to 5 laps to go, and I find myself battling for a podium, and I'm like, this is great. Finished the race 6. I think one more lap we would have had a podium. We were right there at the end with Kinnear and the top 2 to 5 guys. Hamilton just walked away. He was so fast. Yeah. But at the end of it, I was happy with being able to compete with these top 5 drivers in that class. But definitely disappointed that it couldn't finish it on the podium. So was hungry to go back there last year and try to put it on the podium, and then COVID shut everything down. So this year I'm definitely, chomping at the bit to try to see if we can get a podium finish.
How was it that you learned about the SuperNationals being from Bermuda? I mean, it's not like they're advertising the race over there. How did you learn about it?
No, so I mean, obviously I come from Bermuda, 20 square mile island. Karting's not huge. I started racing in the U.S. in I think like 2005. Started with the Rock Island Grand Prix. Was my first race out there, and kind of got doing more races. I went road racing for a lot of years in the U.S. And then I think I went to SuperNats 06, 05 was my first year. I want to do the best racing out there, right? So SuperNats is obviously the best. And once you do SuperNats for the first time, you're hooked. You want to do more.
That's good.
So yeah, I think I've done over the years. I think this is going to be my 9th year racing SuperNats. Like I said, it's a race that every karting person wants to win, wants to do well at. So coming from a small island where I only get to do a handful of races each year in the U.S., this is a race that I always try to put into the calendar to make it happen. It's, if you're a karter, SKUSA SuperNats is the race to do.
That's the one, right? So tell us about your program. What who you with? What chassis you on? What engine you're running for Master Shifter?
So for the last 2 years, I've been with Harden Motorsports. Darren Harden, great guys, great team. Love those guys. We have a good time. This year, I'll be on a TB kart for the first time at SuperNats. I ran the TB kart for the first time at Rock Island Grand Prix this year. Felt good. So I feel like that's a chassis that we can do well with. Last year, I was on I think a 10-year-old Intrepid, and was still able to, finish 6th. So, I've never been able to go to SuperNats with, the best equipment, the best motor, the best team. But I feel like this year, I have a great team. I have a new chassis. We're on the, 175 just like everyone else. So I feel like we have a great shot to put a podium finish in there.
And last but not least, I guess the cool thing is with the track being the same layout, or whatever, however close it's going to be once they get there. The only difference is going to be the pavement, right? In particular areas, is how much is it going to be like the Rio, but the actual layout itself with the the corners, the first turn, a couple of hairpins. Did that kind of suit you? Is that something? Hey, I'm going back to a different venue, but with the same racetrack. I really like the way that track was laid out.
Yeah, definitely. When I saw that it was going to be the same layout, I was kind of excited because, I don't get a lot of seat time. I haven't been in a shifter since Rock Island. Okay. I don't get as much seat time as most of these guys do coming from the States. So the hardest part about coming to these events is, trying to learn the track in a short period of time. So that's something I don't have to do this year because it's pretty much the same layout. That's one less thing I have to worry about. So I was definitely excited to see that the track was the same.
Well, that's awesome, Skitchy. We look forward to seeing you. I know we've got dinner planned for one of the evenings. I'm all lined up for that. Otherwise, man, we'll see you in Las Vegas in just like less than a week, I guess. We'll be on track. I forgot it's Wednesday already. We'll be on track in a week. We'll see you there. And, man, good luck. Safe travels. We'll see you in Vegas.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, guys, for having me down. Like I said, this is the biggest race of the year, so it's something that I'm hungry this year to go out there. Like I said, I know the Masters class, there's probably a dozen guys that are going to be fast. I know I'm not the top runner, quote unquote, but I'm chomping at the bit. I'm excited, and I think we got a good shot at the podium this year.
Good man. There he is, folks. Scott Sketchy Barnes from Bermuda. One of the big players, of course, in Bermuda karting as well. The club they have over there. Great people involved there. Let's let Sketchy go. And then David will line you up. It's time to start doing some predictions. We'll see where everybody slots in. This is our predictions, folks. 5. We're doing the top 5. And just to preface this right now, we did it yesterday too. Don't hate on us.
Throw the comments down. I don't care. Bring it. Bring it. Bring it. Come on.
Yeah.
No, bring it. I love this. This is like talking about fantasy football. Bring the trash.
You're a sports radio, sports TV guy, so you love it when people just thrash it out there, right?
I love it.
We can talk about the Bears as much as we want. So,
hey, Bears are going to get a W tomorrow. That's all that matters.
Should we talk about? Was it Western Michigan? Is that the team we should talk about?
Oh, Western won. They won on Tuesday. They beat Northern Illinois. So.
All right, let's go. What do you got?
We don't talk about that school down south though.
All right, no, we don't.
I know somebody's sitting. I know somebody sitting with Sketchy that loves that school down south, and we don't talk about that school. All right, my predictions. Here they come.
Thinking, David?
It's you got to go with the young guy. That's what it boils down to. I mentioned it already. Joey Wimsett. He's got 7 podiums or 7 top 10 finishes in the last 8 SuperNationals in the pro division. You're going to bring that kind of talent over into the Masters category. You got to put him as the top contender. Yeah, he's not been in the seat as much as Musser has been all season long.
Okay.
I mean, hell, even Ryan Kinnear was in the seat once and beat Musser at the Summer Nationals, both races. So, a similar racetrack. Again, they're all good. Like Sketchy just talked about. Everybody's going to know kind of how the track unfolds, and including all the top 5 who were there in 2019. So I have Joey Wimsett winning over Jordan Musser with Ryan Kinnear in 3rd. I got Sketchy Barnes in 4th, and then Joe Rook in the 5th position.
All right. That's solid. Let's see which way I went with this, because I was wondering whether or not I'm like, is Wimsett going to be? Is he going to be in shape? Has he been laying around?
That's the question mark.
Has he been laying around drinking beer on the couch? I don't know.
You can do that in Master. You can do that in Master, not so in Pro Shifter.
Yeah, you can. You can finish 6th or 7th. You can't finish top 5. So here's my deal. I like a good story. And Jordan's coming off that win at Rock Vegas, as you had mentioned, feeling good about things. I'm going to put Jordan Musser, adding that one little thing he needed on that resume, like a almost unparalleled resume in terms of karting in the U.S., all the stuff that he's been able to win. And I see him winning the SuperNationals this year and checking that one off. Ryan Kinnear's going to be in the fight. And, of course, Joey Wimsett right there. I think Sketchy Barnes is going to come in there and get that podium that he just missed out on last year. And I think he could be even quicker depending on how things play out. And I'm with you on Joe Rook as well. I think he's a guy that as long as Joe can stay out of trouble, I think he's a podium guy out there right now. He makes mistakes here and there. We've seen before. He's aggressive, that's for sure. So we'll see where Joey ends up. But I got him P5. So I got Musser with the win, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think Barnes and Joe are going to be kind of, I hate to say it, but they're going to be the leaders of the second group. And there's a number of different drivers that could be in there. Michael Getch, Stifler, we talked about. Ben Schermerhorn is another driver. Patrick O'Neill, he's coming off an injury, but he's super fast in Vegas, so he could be another one that could be there as well too. So
listen, here's my flashback, because you weren't even involved at this point yet. I'm literally flashing back to 99, 2000, 2001, because Tommy Contino is on the grid. Tommy was one of the top drivers in the S2 semi-pro class back in the Pro Moto Tour days, ran for JM Racing on a Tony kart. I love seeing Tommy Contino's name back. It just blows me away that he's coming back. He was running again, like I said, S2, the semi-pro shifter. Now he's running the Masters category. I don't know how much racing he's done. Looks like he's with Yesnik Racing. Tommy was a talented driver. There's a lot of talent there. So I think he's been doing some car racing a bit. I think I heard. I'd love to see what he's able to do, though, because I think it'd be impressive.
Here's a question Mike Smith is asking about John Crow. Not on the entry list, so we can't include the Crow Show. He would have been in the top 5 probably in my prediction.
Me too.
But we don't have him on the entry list. So if he's not on the entry list, we can't really talk about him. If he's going to show up as a walk-up entry, he could blow up both our top 5s.
He could definitely do that. 100% he could do that. But that's the look. We got a couple of different winners lining up for that. I like that. I like when we're not quite exactly the same. That's good. Although David normally kicks my ass on these things.
I do, but you're catching up. That's good, because if we had the same top 5, it helps you not lose any points when we factor that in.
We pause for this quick commercial break. Stay tuned for more here on the EKN Radio Network. All over the karting world, everyone knows OTK is the gold standard for quality and performance. In the US, OTK USA is the source for all things OTK. From the legendary Tony Kart brand to the race-winning Cosmic and Esprit chassis, and now the new Red Speed and EOS brands, OTK quality is second to none. All 5 brands are winning races and championships across the country in national programs like the Rock Cup USA Florida Winter Tour and the Challenge of the Americas, the SCUSA Pro Tour and Winter Series, and the Pro Kart Challenge, the United States Pro Kart Series, and the WKA Manufacturers Cup. And OTK products are also front and center on the podium of club and regional races from coast to coast. To learn more about a specific product line, you can find the OTK USA dealer near you, whether it's Tony Kart, Cosmic, Esprit, Red Speed, or EOS. Visit www.otkusa.com. Specific chassis territories are still available, so kart shops interested in adding a winning component to their product lineups can contact OTK USA directly. We don't just drive trucks because they're dependable workhorses that let us tackle icy roads all winter and tow a boat on the summer weekends. We also drive trucks because they're fun. And the Cooper Discoverer Rugged Trek is a truck tire made with fun in mind. Like any Cooper tire, the Rugged Trek is designed to do everything you need it to do. It's got stone blockades to protect your tires off-road and whisper grooves for smooth, quiet street driving. But with its in-your-face design, like the dual sidewalls that let you choose between 2 aggressive looks, the Cooper Discoverer Rugged Trek is also a tire that shows off your truck's wild side. It's the tire that's off-road party on the outside and dependable all-purpose Cooper design on the inside. Learn more at coopertire.com. Go with the Coopers. CKR is all about quality, and CKR USA is where you can get your hands on these winning chassis in the United States. It's the CKR Barracuda 32 mil shifter kart chassis, the 100cc focused Stingray. These are 2 popular models contributing to the success of this thriving brand. And CKR USA is where you'll find karts, parts, and everything you need to go racing. Delivering the latest innovation in kart racing technology, CKR carries its own distinctive frame design. Made from hand-selected material, CKR kart chassis combine the highest grade tubing and hardware, ensuring first-rate standards of production. CKR USA has a large footprint in the US karting market and continues to grow rapidly throughout the country. Fully homologated chassis have been proven by top-notch performances from coast to coast in North America. CKR has stood on top of the podium in Superkarts USA and F-Series competition, as well as kart clubs around the country. The podiums and championships will continue to pile up in 2021. CKR USA is now in its 6th year of business, and we're adding new authorized dealers and support centers for the chassis line. Visit ckr-usa.com or call 208-384-KART and go CKR Blue. That's true. I guess that's 100% true. All right, let's move to the next category, David. Let's talk a little bit here about the X30 Masters class. 39 entries in total. And if I just give you some of the winner names from the start, this guy's actually joining us from Australia, which is, he's not able to be here, but this guy's, again, is part of the list of the all-time winners at 4 different victories. A winner in 14, 15, 18, and 19. 2 on-track wins as well that eventually got lost in tech. I'm talking about Kip Foster, of course, one of the legends of the Superkarts USA SuperNationals. He's going to join us here in a little bit. Renato Jader David, a winner in 2016. You go further back to guys like Jim Russell Jr., Three-time winner Leonardo Ninkadr from Brazil. Billy Cleveland, a couple of wins, David. Jerry Henderson, the late great Jerry Henderson back in 2007. Travis Irving was able to win in 2006 as well. John Crow, the Crow Show won. And Michael Brooks actually was the first winner of the tag category back in 2003 and 2004 on it, I believe, for Champion Racing on an Intrepid.
Correct.
And there were some different engines back then. Guys were on Sonics. Travis was on the Beeland?
I want to say he was on a Beeland because that was the engine that had to be the most weight, and he was a little bit heavy at that time.
4-stroke, 2-cylinder.
Yeah. It was a unique sound. Jerry Henderson won on the Beeland as well too. Yep. I think Crow was on a Rotax possibly that year, or either that or a Leopard, one or the other. But that was the interesting.
It might be pronounced Byland actually.
Beeland. I thought it was Beeland.
We'll figure it out.
Right. Anyways,
so
that was a fun part of that category back then. So it was always, even I think Cleveland was on the Mattori 7 when he won both his races.
Exactly that.
That engine was a monster.
It was a monster. It was 100% a monster. As we did before, we'll do this every time. Guys that are leading or we're topping the Superkarts USA Pro Tour. Obviously, guys, we're going to watch right throughout these deals. Mario Barrios ended up winning the championship. Jess Peterson in second, and Glauber Granero was in third. I think Barrios is definitely a guy to watch. Peterson's a no-show. Probably taking care. Is he? Have you heard anything about it? I don't see him on my list. So
no. Both Peterson and Glauber are not going to be in the field at the SuperNationals. Peterson, obviously, a new father. Focusing his attention at home with being a new dad. And I believe Glauber was a late scratch. Glauber was a late scratch. I just received that this week.
Copy that. There you go. David with some input there. David, more notes you've got here. 8 countries represented, 7 drivers from outside the USA.
Yep, and then I miscounted. We actually have 3 former class winners because I forgot about Irving. I had him listed, but I forgot he's in the entry list. He's on there. He's racing with Formula Works in the GFC chassis, and then 2 other former SuperNationals winners that we'll talk about in a little bit. And then again, we have Barrios, the current Pro Tour champion, and then the other former Pro Tour champion is 27 and 2016 X30 Master champion Derek Wang is in the field as well too.
Yeah. 100%. Well, listen, before we jump into our predictions, then kind of go through other guys that are in here, let's bring in Kip Foster joining us from Australia right now. I love the fact he's taking some time out for us. Kip, thank you so much, man. We appreciate it. One of our legends in the sport, not only in Australia, but here at the SuperNats as well with 4 wins. Thanks for taking the time.
Hi, Rob. How are you, David? How you going, guys? Nice to be with you.
We are great. We're prepping to go to the race, and we would rather see a whole contingent of Australians there because that's, you guys always add a very cool atmosphere, not only just the paddock itself, but also on the racetrack, because you guys are a hell of a race car drivers. How hard is it not to be here right now with this race coming back?
It's unbelievable. I mean, I still say to my family, like 2 weeks out, I'm going to try and get on a plane somehow, but it's just reality, unfortunately. Our government just has a travel ban, particularly where we live on the West Coast. And so I could probably get there, but I wouldn't be able to come home, So, I mean, I'd actually love that. I love the USA, but I think my family wouldn't be too happy about that. So, so unfortunately, another 12 months.
Yeah, you also have a pretty good team down there. Your KF brand, you got your own kart down there. You got your own team. You got a lot of success yourself back in Australia as well, correct?
Yeah, no, it's going well. We made a shift at the beginning of the pandemic to EKN OutLap. We've got an association with them now, so we're going really good with Ronnie Sala and their setup, and Michael Patrizzi here, who imports the kart here in Australia, and the teams are growing. The karts are going well. I'd like to get the product into the USA, and I would have loved to have been there this year, to race it and to promote it. But we'll just have to wait. So,
Kip, we have a lot of talk about how during COVID we were kind of worried that maybe the sport, the industry would have struggled a little bit. But we've seen this really resurgence of, I think, people being locked in for 4 months, kind of thing, saying, "Man, I miss the sport." And they came out, and we had record numbers of sales, chassis sales, people racing everywhere, big numbers. It's really, I think people just realized that they missed the sport itself. They decided to dive back in. Are you feeling any of that kind of same thing down in Australia? How is the sport and the health of it, at least where you're racing?
Well, on the West Coast, it's been going amazing. You know, as I was saying, it's for some reason, it's just because, as you say, we're locked in to some degree. Yeah. We're not locked down, but we're locked in. And so people wanted to get out and have fun, enjoy it, and use what they had in the shed and get it out there and enjoy. And they couldn't go traveling. They couldn't go spending money on other things. So the sport was really strong. A little bit of, obviously, in Sydney and Melbourne, where we had some, outbreaks in the COVID, that they did have to shut down for quite a while. So they have been a little bit slow to recover. But as a rule, karting's okay. It's fine. It's going good. And I think it'll be a big year next year.
So let's talk about the SuperNationals. We asked this to Scott Barnes. What was it that brought you to your first SuperNationals? Were you watching them, listening online? Was there something that happened? You said, "Hey, I got to get to that race." What was it? No,
not at all. I mean, I've what happened was, I think maybe back in 2007, I brought the family over to the US for a holiday. Looked around. I just happened to be in Vegas. You know, we spent maybe 3 or 4 days there. You know, I mean, I had young kids, so we're just looking. You know. And there just happened to be a go-kart race out of town. You know, I thought, now we're going to have a look at this. You know, didn't expect it to be anything special. So I caught a cab out there. It was actually Sam Boyd Stadium.
Stadium, yep.
Went out there, and I don't know what hit me, man. You know, I thought, geez, what's going on here? Europeans there, the lot. I just, I spent hours there. Sent the family home, sent them off in the cab, and I just stayed there. So
I was saying that's a good one to go to, because I think, if I recall, that's the year that Artigo came and a couple other the top shifter drivers came and raced that year.
I spent quite a bit of time with Foray in the pit. I'm just trying to remember what chassis he was on back then. Might have been.
Was he a Maranello back then?
Yeah. Maranello. Might have been Maranello.
Yeah,
he was struggling with that thing a bit, I'll be honest. He went forward like me.
Funny. Oh, my goodness. All right, so listen, all the stuff that you've done in your career, obviously, we've seen you for many years, as you said. How do those 4 wins stack up for you? Let's talk about the first win and then the 4th win.
Well, I just saw. I very rarely show my trophy collection, but I've got it behind me. That's the whole trophy collection. That is all my trophies. Over all the years, shifting houses and this and that, you just throw out all of the stuff, And there were some Australian Championship trophies that we knocked over when we moved, and Dad just chucked them in the bin, and I went, "What are you doing?" But I'll be honest. Up there behind me, it's got the 4 SuperNats wins. I mean, obviously those 2 big chrome ones on the side, where we sort of tried to get them home in a suitcase, and they got belted to bits. But look at where is it? Look at that 23.
That's a great one.
Oh, what's
going together? I love it. Yeah,
that there is amazing. Right? I mean, that is. I just don't think that we'll ever get rid of that thing. That thing is just a keeper.
Shout out to Chris Ortenberger for the design of that one.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Cool. So, but it has a special place in my heart, the SuperNats, and I'll keep coming back if we can. So definitely.
Well, listen, when you're watching on Super Sunday on Facebook, I'll let you know that he's 47 years of age, but David Foray is actually racing KZ this year. Oh, he's coming to race, which I think is absolutely awesome. Wow. That's amazing for sure. Yeah. So listen, I guess my question would be this. The minute the border opens up, are you coming back? Are we going to see you next year, hopefully?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'll 100% be there for the SuperNats. I mean, I'd love to be there for a couple of other races and try and promote the product, So so if we can get a distributor over there, then I'll come over there and put a face there and help the boys. And, of course, I'd jump in a cart and race it, because life's too short to be sitting on the fence,
That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Kip, thank you so much, man. I'd love to be able to be talking about you on the racetrack, doing one of those storming runs up to the front like you've done before, or just dominating. We've seen that before too, where you won all 3 heat races. We'd love to have you back. You're one of the characters we love having at the racetrack, and we love the passion that you show. And the KF brand has obviously been strong for you guys down in Australia, and it'd be a cool brand to see up here as well. So all the best with that.
Love it. Thank you, boys. Good on you. See you next time. Thank you.
Thanks.
Tip Foster, folks, one of the 4-time race winners, David. How long did we wait? It was Connor De Felipe had those 4 wins for so many years, and nobody got close to him. And all of a sudden, in comes Foster, in comes Musgrave, right?
Yep. Now we have 3.
Yeah, it's amazing stuff. All right, so we're talking X30 Masters right now, a class that we really love watching, and normally was for how many years, David? Was it the very first class that sold out? Like literally in one day.
It was
Right.
one of the first categories to sell out, and even at least for the 44, and then they expanded it to be 88. And then so we had, 60 to 70 guys. This year it's a little bit down, but again, we had a lot of international drivers in this category. So that's part of the number issues there. But other than that, the competition level is still going to be fierce this year, probably anywhere between 15 and 20 drivers within having an opportunity to be on the podium.
That's what I've got here. I've highlighted some guys on my side of on the spreadsheet. I'm like, man, there's a good probably 15. What do you got, David? Who you think who's taking home the big money? Who's taking home the big trophy?
We want to go to predictions. Predictions it is. Here we go.
Wow.
Well,
all right.
Again, I'm keeping with the youth movement in the Masters category. This guy came out in 2017 as a master driver, said he'd never do it, finally did it.
For those of you listening on the podcast, it's Matt Johnson.
I haven't said his name yet. I was building up, Rob. It's called a build up.
But that wasn't all right. I'll give you that. Didn't feel good.
I was building up. Goodness gracious.
Go.
See, I understand how the television program works. Anyway, 2017 came out and finally came over to the dark side and the old guy class and finished 4th. And you could see he really wanted to get that victory. Had a DNF the next year and then came back in 2019 and got a runner-up finish. But I really think Matt Johnson is the cream of the crop when you look at this field. He has the skills, the brain power to be able to put himself in position to win. Foster was just nearly unbeatable last year. And I think with Foster out, you got to look back to who finished second to him last or 2 years ago. And it's going to be Matt Johnson. We were going to have this guy on the broadcast tonight. Unfortunately, he had some prior commitments he had to attend to. I have Scott Kopp, the 2-time USPKS Pro Tour or USPKS X30 Master Champion, finishing in 2nd last year. Had an issue with getting to one of the heat races late. Actually missed a heat race because they moved the times around, and he was going by the schedule, and they actually took off without him. So he missed a heat race, had to build back from that. And that pretty much took him out of contention, especially when you had, 2 different or the field over 44. So he had to get through the heat races, get through the last chance qualifier in order to make the main event. So I see him. He was one of the quickest drivers 2 years ago. I see him as obviously a top-notch X30 master driver. So I have him 2nd. One of the great stories we have in the SuperNationals, Bonner Moulton, making his 24th start at the SuperNationals. So he's been to every single SuperNational. This is going to be his first year in the X30 Master Division. I don't think you can't take away the talent he has. Even though he is probably one of the older drivers in the field, he has the talent to be able to compete. And yes, he's going from shifter to single speed, but he's been coaching these single speed drivers for a long time, including Hannah Greenmeyer. He's going to be right there. I got Renato Diotter David in the 4th position. He was the winner in 2016. He's fast no matter where he goes, both be it USA or in Europe. I have him finishing in 4th, and then I have our Pro Tour champion with Mario Barrios in the 5th position.
Woo! Good overview, David. A lot of insight there. I like that. No, it's when mine throw up there, we're going to see obviously that you and I have kind of the same feeling on it. It's weird because
it is. I didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
But I didn't like that. Yours almost matched mine.
Well, yeah, we look and you look at the past results, right, guys? What have they done at the SuperNats? Have they struggled?
Yes.
Have they made mistakes here and there where they've fallen? Bring mine up here, and we'll have a look at my thoughts on the top 5. I'm with you on Matt Johnson. I like the idea of the youth movement. There's a guy that I don't know how old Matt is right now. What, 33, 34 maybe? David, you think?
Well, he's got to be at least 35 because 2017. he had to have been 30. So
okay, all right. So there you go. So 35, maybe 36, but just a fiery competitor. This is a guy that you could throw back into a senior race anywhere, and you'd expect he could be in the top 10, right? With the right role. I struggle badly not picking Renato Jean David anytime he rolls around the racetrack because he's just so good. Flat dominated the Winter Series back in January and February. He's just that good. Wow,
confirmation.
42?
So Matt Johnson is 42.
Wow. Now Mike Smith is saying he's 41. Whatever. Hey, listen, if he's 42, he's a badass 42.
He's in his 40s. Yeah.
Yeah. So here's one that I'm throwing out here is Danilo Ramalho for Kevin Monteith's Racing Edge Motorsports. They ran the first weekend, the Winter Nationals at NOLA, and he was bad fast. But then they weren't able to get back across the border. There was some BS that was going on, so that Danilo wasn't able to come back out. I think he's going to be a guy that we need to watch. He could be my little sleeper here that kind of shakes things up. And then I went for a couple of veterans as well. I went to Derek Wang. Now, Derek has not had the best results at the SuperNationals. He was 13th back in 2019, 17th in 2017, but he was on the podium in third in 2016. So I think if he gets rolling and gets things going, he should be okay. And then I'm with you on Bonner Moulton. To have him here again, I look back at the photos that I have from the very first SuperNationals in 1997, and Bonner Moulton was on the podium of the pro shifter category in 1997. Here we are 25 years later to a sense, right? Because the 24th race we missed last year. And I'll tell you this, Bonner kept running shifter carts, which are a little bit tougher. And that's harder on his body, and by the end of Super Sunday, he was getting worn out a bit. He even told us that. I think this will be a little bit easier ride for him in the Masters category. I think he'll be good to go to cruise through. I like Moulton being fifth, but I don't disagree with you that he could be higher up in the order as well. I think if he gets comfortable and he's a veteran who can stay out of trouble, won't make the mistake. He's not going to make that dumb move that hurts him. And that could be the big thing for him that puts him even higher than P5 where I've got him locked down.
Yeah, I thought about Wang. Obviously, he's good. He's almost like a Renato Jader David. Anywhere he goes, he's fast. But he hasn't gotten the SuperNationals results. And you mentioned his past results. So that's why I kept him out of the top 5. I think Irving could be a possibility too. Again, he's gotten seat time under his belt this year, so he could be a possible. Martin Pierce, a former Rock Island Grand Prix winner, former Road Tax Grand Finals winner as well too. Martin Pierce could be in there. I know I looked at Ramalho as well too. He was another one that I kept off the top 5, and I thought about moving him up in there. So he is a possibility.
Billy Cleveland.
Everybody,
people were asking, years old.
People were asking about him, and I think he's gotten to that age now where he's going to be top 10. I think he's going to be top 10 for sure. I don't know if he's going to be on the podium or not.
Another one would be
Ian Kunchez is another possibility. He's past that challenge in Americas.
And maybe like a Miguel Mir,
Ariel Castro, Carlos Calderon.
Carlos Calderon. Hey, listen. Carlos has been super fast there before.
Yeah.
So if Carlos again gets up front and stays out of trouble, Carlos could 100% be top 5.
And then one question everybody's asking: Scott Roberts. Scott Roberts is not racing SuperNationals as far as we know. He's not on the entry list. He told me he was doing Rock Vegas for sure. I'm not sure if he's doing SuperNationals.
All right. We pause for this quick commercial break. Stay tuned for more here on the EKN Radio Network.
Located in Mooresville, North Carolina, on-site at GoPro Motorplex, Kart Sport North America features over 6,000 square feet of retail space. Along with being the official race team and distributor for the Kart Republic chassis, they offer full retail sales, kart service and storage, and products from the top brands in the sport, such as CZ Chain, Talon Sprockets, SKF Bearings, and Prisma Tire Gauges. If you want to take your racing to the next level, they also offer driver training and coaching programs available trackside at GoPro Motorplex. They have a massive inventory, so head to their online store at kartsportna.com to get same-day shipping of the parts and components that you need. While you're there, check out their used section of karts, engines, parts, and accessories. Kart Sport North America. Top quality products, winning brands, and professional driver development services.
2019 marked a new era for the KartLift brand. The company that Tim Coyne owned and operated since 2003, one with a long tradition of quality products for the karting industry, was purchased by Ted Fashing and his business, Stockholm Karting Center, in October of 2019. Stockholm Karting Center Inc. has added the KartLift brand to their very successful Triple T Race Products brand that has been fabricating parts for the drag racing industry for the past 25 years. We're small enough where the owner answers the phone and every call is important to us, but we're large enough to get the job done. We pride ourselves on the quality and personal customer service that we provide on the phone or at the track. KartLift stands, as you know, can be found at racetracks all over the country. If you race alone, or if you're a parent with a cadet or junior driver, let our one-man winch lift make your race days easier. Position the hooks under the rear bumper, push the button, and your cart is raised into position and you're ready to go. We have traditional cart stands, single upright storage stands, KartLift stackers for storing 2 carts at once, tire changers, and skid plate kits. KartLift stands are available at the finest kart shops around the country, or you can order online at kartlift.com. For more information, give us a call at 877-777-8020. That's 877-777-8020. Get a KartLift and leave your crew at home. In racing, experience is priceless. Franklin Motorsports is a leader in the karting industry with over 50 years of combined karting experience, and we can provide you with everything you need to go racing. With a large online product selection, select track support events, and a wide variety of shop services, Franklin Motorsports is your complete karting source. Check out our online store at www.franklinkart.com, where all our products are just a mouse click away. We're constantly adding to the growing product selection on the online store, and we ship daily to ensure products get to you quickly. We specialize in IAME engines, tilt seats, ceramic products, driveline branded products, Briggs & Stratton engines, OTK products, and of course, the championship-winning Merlin chassis. In our online store, you'll find a variety of items to fill your karting needs. Franklin Motorsports is also known for our wide variety of services and is home to Innovative Engine Works by FMS, our in-house engine service department. Frame straightening, kart prep, and dyno testing are all services offered regularly at Franklin Motorsports. For all things karting, visit franklinkart.com. Well, there you go. Good update there for David. So there's our lineup that we're thinking for X30 Masters. David, let's jump into KA 100 Senior. This category brought to you by the Motorsports Country Club of Cincinnati and the MCC Kartplex. 92 entries. And of course, this is a class that really, as most of you know, just coming out back in 2018, Stephen Barros was able to get the win there in a cart he picked up like off of YouTube off of like Facebook or something, just bought a cart. But Paulie Massimino ended up getting the victory in 2019. Big win for Paulie. I think he'll be one to watch for sure. But then again, David, we look at the guys in the Superkarts USA Pro Tour points. You look at Cole Morgan, P1, Jace Park, and Nolan Allison. 3 drivers for sure that we could be talking about come Super Sunday.
Oh, for sure, without a doubt. I mean, a lot. Again, 92 drivers in the field. It's just, it's phenomenal the numbers we're getting in this category, and it's something we saw when it was introduced in 2018. It was again one of the first categories to sell out. So this class is going to be probably one that's going to be big from now to the future. And again, looking at the numbers, 6 Pro Tour champions that are in this field. And again, not in this category just alone, but other categories that they've been in. Only 13 drivers competed in this category are racing in that competed in 2019 are racing this year. 20 drivers raced in the junior category in 2019, so they've moved up. So a lot. This category is very diverse. A lot of different drivers, old drivers. Or I shouldn't say old. I should say older veteran drivers. We'll talk to one of that. That's pretty much a veteran driver now. Yeah. And then some young drivers and international drivers. We have 9 countries represented from 9 drivers outside the USA. So it does have a little bit of international flavor as well too.
Yeah, it's an amazing lineup for sure. And again, you keep scrolling down. For me, one thing I'll say before we bring on our first guest is this: 92 drivers. Just making the main is going to be huge, right? This is one of the things I made the main. You think about the quality of drivers that we're going to have in the last chance qualifier, right?
It's going to be unreal because again, this is the first
main on its own.
This is the first time this category has had the LCQ.
Yeah.
So I think this LCQ is going to be kind of like those old LCQs we used to see at X30 Senior, where we actually saw people fight and get kicked out.
That's it. I don't think you're wrong.
I hope we don't see fighting. I hope we don't see fighting, but it's going to be that knuckles up, elbows out type mentality.
All right, David, who do you want to bring in first?
I think we go with the most recent winner of the event.
Yeah, I like it.
Which one is that?
Let's bring in Paulie Massimino. Ouch,
all right,
dude, that was hard.
I gotta. He's. We'll talk about why I'm getting hard on him. But okay.
All right, Paulie Massimino, buddy. Thank you so much for joining us here on this edition of the OutLap. Good to have you.
How you guys doing?
Doing well.
We are good. We are excited. We're anytime we do these previews, it gets us fired up a little bit. What about you? How you've had a pretty good year? Let's start with that. Let's getting the win at the Miami Grand National as well, dude. You've had a good year.
Yeah, not too bad. Had a lot of good finishes, but haven't really been able to capitalize too many times. I have a few wins this year, but not as many as I like.
Let's talk about that last SuperNationals. Obviously, that was a bit of a weird deal. The penalty and the way things moved around. You end up getting the win later on. We had to come back. But do you feel like you want some redemption for that? Do you want to just make it nice and clean? Is that what you're kind of thinking about this year?
Yeah, of course. I would definitely like to come back and cleanly win it. Obviously, I didn't technically win it last year, but I have the trophy. So I would hopefully this year we can get it done for real this time.
Here's my question for you, Dave. I'll let you come in a second, Dave. How much different are you as a driver? Like, obviously, I think that what we've seen out of you over the last 2 years has been amazing. That year when you won, a lot of people came to me afterwards and were telling me how you were one of their favorite drivers. Really thought you were a fantastic young guy. Over the last 2 years, you've become one of the top drivers in the sport. How much have you changed since that win back in 2019?
Yeah, it actually started when I moved to Doty. I kind of started focusing a little bit more on my actual racing, and I stopped kind of fooling around. And and my dad kind of got a little hard on me. He told me, this is. I mean, it costs a lot of money, so you gotta start putting in the time. So with Doty, I kind of started to tune in a little bit more, and then obviously got that win at SuperNats, and then this year I've actually taken it to a whole nother level. I mean, obviously we haven't won too many races, but we won a few. But ever since I switched to RPM, I've kind of been tuning in a lot more to what we could do to be better. I mean, I'll sit in the trailer for an hour after the day just looking at data and just going over every single corner and seeing what I can improve for the next day and how to be better. So I've started to focus a lot more on trying to actually win instead of just having fun.
Yeah.
You've kind of been mostly at the X30 category throughout the season, and then you've dipped down and double dipped, running both KA and X30. Do you think focusing on the X30 has helped you at all with the KA program, or are they two kind of separate entities?
Honestly, to be honest, it's probably from just how many laps I have at GoPro. So it kind of made it not as difficult to adjust, but for sure, X30 has helped me. I used to be, I still am a dumb driver, but I'm a little bit smarter now. And it helped me bring it back to KA and to focus on not making any mistakes and driving the best I can. And honestly, KA has helped me more in X30 than X30 has with KA.
I was to say, that's the one thing I've noticed throughout the season is that you're not making mistakes. You were consistently within the top five each race or each heat race, each final, and then going from round to round. I think you've already mentioned it. It's just kind of the development of yourself. Is there anything else that you think you can get better at, whether it be the way you approach your data sessions? Is it the testing that you do on off weekends, or is there something during a race weekend where you think you just need to get better at one certain thing?
I think I still need to not have as much fun. I'm still having a little bit too much fun, so maybe tone it back just a little bit. But obviously, I still like to have fun at the track, so maybe tune that down a little bit. But we actually got some testing done. We got some testing last weekend, and I feel like it went pretty good. So the main thing, I don't know. I just feel like got to be paying attention a little bit more, being careful. I mean, it's super nats. A lot of it's luck, but just got to keep the head clean and not make any mistakes and just ride through the heats.
Do you feel like you're rolling in with momentum right now? Obviously, that win at the Grand National was big, but compared to where maybe how you felt coming in to the race in 2019, do you feel you're better prepared, number one, and do you feel like you have some momentum and some confidence for this year's edition?
Yeah, for sure. Because in 2019, I expected to maybe finish 10th. I didn't expect to be up there with those guys, but no, I definitely feel like I've matured as a driver, and I definitely don't make as many mistakes as I did 2 years ago. So hopefully we bring some heat. I feel like we can. I mean, Perry, all those guys are doing an amazing job getting everything ready, and hopefully we got the speed, the tuning, the driver shows up. I think we'll have the motor, so we'll see.
Sounds like a pretty good package all around, Paulie. And I think David and I have no doubt you're going to show up. So we look forward to it, buddy. You always do. Thanks for joining us on this edition of OutLap. We appreciate it. I guess we'll see you in Vegas next week.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Right. That's Paulie Massimino, the 2019 winner. And David, anytime he rolls out, right, you see him on the grid. This is the guy you know can win a race, which I like. That's what he's become.
Yeah, I think he has that confidence. Like he said, he's eliminating the errors. He's doing that, and he's focusing more. And you got to have fun. There's no doubt about it. That's why everybody's doing this, is to have fun. And so you still got to have that. And I like his attitude. He's like, you know what? I just got to focus a little bit more. And I think he's done that throughout the season. I think moving to Ryan Perry Motorsport has kind of helped him do that as well too. Mm-hmm. He's got a lot of talented drivers around him there, and a lot of good staff to kind of keep him focused, and it's good. So I certainly expect him to see him up front, both in KA and X30 Senior.
So we've got another guy to bring in here, because obviously there was the winner who took the trophy home, and there was a winner on the racetrack in 2019. Let's bring in Brandon Lemke, obviously one of the top KA 100 drivers in the country. Brandon, obviously you saw Paulie there. He's the one that has the trophy at his place. What do you recall from 2019? Have you just got rid of it, or how do you feel about it?
Oh man, well, thank you guys for having me. First off,
great to have you, buddy. Great to have you.
Yeah, looking back at that one, I mean, I couldn't really have asked for a better weekend, really. I mean, I qualified 7th, but I made a stupid mistake, and kind of going to the X30 to KA, bouncing back and forth. I was different tires, stickier tire in the X30, and I remember in 2019 there was the braking zone was like right at the start finish line. So I was doing that in X30. I had it fresh in my mind. I'm like, okay, I got to brake here. And then now, first lap out, cold tires on the reds, and I tried braking at that same point, and when it was way too deep, locked up the rear tires, spun around, bent the axle, went into the barriers. Still got 2 laps, I think, or 2 or 3 laps. I missed out on 1 lap. So qualified 7th, and I'm like, okay, this isn't bad. Like, I still thought I was fast, but I had to work my way from 7th every single heat. Luckily, they weren't. It wasn't like different groups. So, I mean, it was lucky there, but won every heat. And then I went to bed the next day or that night. I couldn't sleep. I was just shaking. I was like so nervous because it's been my dream ever since I like 14 years old to win the SuperNats. And this was my first huge chance. And because I had raced X30 Senior before, and, I mean, everybody knows how tough X30 is.
Yeah. Right.
So, I was, it's still in my head. And then it sucked because it wasn't getting ran over. That pushed the bumper, and I posted on YouTube. It was the corner right after that when you're in the blender. It's when everybody gets parked up, and then I just tapped somebody. They were sideways, tapped them, bumper got pushed in. So yeah, it sucks. But then I look back and I'm like, I won that one. But hey, listen, it is what it is.
That's the truth, though, right? In the end, even though you don't take the trophy home, you know that with the pushback, it wasn't your fault. So you really were able to get the job done. So internally, you can take that. it's not easy, is it, though, at all?
Well, and we saw that at the World Championship this year. You know, Freddie Slater won on a racetrack, had his pushback bumper, and lost the World Championship. So it's happened on the big stage, both around the world and at SuperNationals.
Absolutely. So what is that then, Brandon? Are you extra motivated this year? Like, it's, and again, we said this to Scott Barnes for maybe a different reason, him not getting a lot of seat time. You obviously go back to a track that you won on, essentially on the racetrack, just had that one issue. Having the same track, even though we don't know what the pavement's going to be like, is that going to play into your hand as well? Did you feel that track was something you were really comfortable with? I
did feel comfortable with it. Honestly, what makes it easy is the Merlin, the 29. It's a little bit smaller chassis. I mean, I felt like I was able to just keep the track a little bit shorter than other people and also get closer to the barriers. I just felt comfortable on that track. I felt like the braking, I could brake a little bit deeper. Things that don't make sense. Like, you know, you think all the braking zones would be the same. I feel like I could brake deeper, get closer to the barriers, everything. And I think that's the part of the reason why we were so good that weekend. I mean, screaming those engines over 17,000 RPM down the straightaway was a bit frightening. It's like, as a grenade right next to my head, but it's like, it was cool. I felt comfortable. But then again, we went to the Westgate a few years before that, and I was horrible. Like, I only raced X30. I don't know. I've maybe gotten in the top 10 once or twice. Luckily, somehow.
I don't see you finishing in the top 10 the last 3 years in X30.
No, it was not good. But
you do have a podium from Cadet back in 2012.
Yeah. Vegas is not my strong suit.
Jamie Siraki just posted that. He said, pretty sure he could have won his first SuperNats as well. Right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about that, Brandon. You've been with the Franklin Motorsports team for quite some time. You've been kind of that lead guy, right? Carrying the flag for Merlin Nation. You've obviously been a Vulture guy for a long time as well. Tell me what that means to be able to be with the Siraki family and with the Vultures and with that Merlin Nation deal, because you've been the guy that's been carrying that flag and winning a lot of races for them.
Yeah, first time I raced on a Merlin, I think, was 2011 at the Grand Nationals at Newcastle, or for WKA. Yeah. It was Comer, or Cadet, we call it. It was one of the bigger classes. I started racing all three the next year full time, and first time ever there. I don't know, I think Saturday or Sunday I finished second. I was run with the lead pack. There was Grant Quinlan, Zane Smith, Leo Stoya back in the day, all those guys. And I looked up to Grant Quinlan a lot, and Emerson Reed. Now Emerson and I are best buds too. So running with those guys was like, I was very nervous. I was like, can't make a mistake. I'm gonna get embarrassed. It's like, like the elementary school, you got to wear the cool shoes with all the cool fit in. Like I had to fit in. Yeah, I had to fit in. So it's like, just I was comfortable in fifth, but so that was fun back then. And then the very next year, Daytona, I ended up winning my first race in KPP Sportsman. So that was good. And then I got another one at Yamaha. First two trophies I ever are in there. I mean, those I'm keeping. So that was fun times. And then had a couple years where I went to an Xpree with Innovative. I raced just Route 66 with Scott Kopp and his dad and his TJ Coyne as well. And then went to Top Kart for a year, or the year before I went to Top Kart. But came back to Franklin 2018 for SCUSA at SuperNationals. And it's like, that was a mistake. Going to these other karts, I got to stay with Jamie.
I was going to say, is the relationship between you and Jamie kind of like brothers? Is that kind of how the relationship has developed?
I love that guy. I mean, I'll have some issues, whether not even karting related. I'll call the guy up and be like, hey man, what do you think about this? He's like, well, I think you should. I'll just listen to him. Like, says, you're not old Jamie, but he's a bit older than me. He's got a bit more, advice, and his wisdom definitely helps me out with a lot of stuff. So yeah, he's like a good friend to me. I know it's weird. He's 20 years older than I am, but he's a good friend. So but no, he's a great guy. Same with the Vulture family. I mean, not only Daniel, but the whole family is just awesome. So, I mean, been with him since 2012 as well. I mean, and never looked back.
So let's talk SuperNats. Let's wrap this up with that. You're an experienced driver. You won a lot of races, a lot of big national races. You did a little stock car racing as well. You come to the SuperNats this year, knowing that you were able to win last year. We talked to Paulie about that, about what level of confidence do you have right now? What kind of momentum are you bringing in? Do you feel really good about your opportunity to roll out and potentially go for a win?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I feel like, you know, the momentum from 2019 is definitely there. Okay. I feel like with the Vulture Racing engines, the Franklin kart, and then I got Tim Anderson helping out for SuperNationals this weekend, or this coming weekend. I think we have a good shot. But as Tim says to me and Jamie and everybody else, like, you can do everything perfectly at SuperNats, you still have a 50-50 shot. I mean, it's never certain that you're going to win.
Agreed.
I mean, just like 2019, what happened there, just one little thing, and then I ended up 5th. So, I mean, you look back at it, it sucks, but it is what it is. No, I definitely think we have a shot, but yeah, I don't know what to expect. I'm kind of just going there for fun. Doing this whole growing up thing kind of sucks, but yeah, bought some land, trying to build a house. Now trying to start a kind of a business little race team there in the summertime with some club drivers and everything like that. So, yeah, we're working a lot now. Not too focused on karting anymore, which kind of sucks, but hey, you gotta grow up sometimes. So now dealing with all these, racing with all these younger guys like Zilich and Massimino and, you know, all these guys, like, God, just, you know, like, it's a challenge, but they're good. I mean, it's hard to keep up with them sometimes.
So you're gonna have more fun than Paulie's gonna have. Is that what you're saying in Vegas?
I mean, I'm 21 now. I can go in the casinos. I can drink. Yeah, I can do whatever.
I like how he says he's 21. He's feeling like the old guy.
Yeah.
And I literally now have to, when I race Masters, I'm racing against the kids I started covering when they were in cadets. Now I have to race against those. You wait, Lemke. It's going to get even worse. Yeah. I'm telling you.
I don't want to wait. I don't want that to happen. That just happened with my nephew because I told him the Wii came out in like 2011. He wasn't even born yet. I was like, he's 10 years old now.
That's it. Jeez. Yeah, there you go. Well, listen, man, we wish you the best of luck. We hope you can come back and get right into the middle of the fight. And we really appreciate you joining us here on the OutLap.
Hey, thank you very much for having me. I appreciate talking to you guys.
Brandon Lemke, David, it's been fun following him, man. I remember back, I can't remember what year it was. Pro Moto Tour photo finish between he and David Malukas for the championship. They give it to Malukas in the on the line, but then we look at the video that was on for the TV show, and it was actually Lemke that got the win. So we had
I think that was 2015, the year that he won the championship. So.
All right. Well, listen, let's it's time to start talking predictions, and then we'll throw some more names out here because there's so many. But let's hit some predictions. Well, we're just past the hour mark. We're actually making pretty good time here right now. We've got a lot of guys lined up, though, in X30 Senior. Hannah Greenmeyer is going to join us. Connor Zilich, Ryan Norberg, some great guests going to join us to talk about this year's SuperNats. But, David, what do you got for KA Senior?
Here it is. KA 100 Senior, a guy we're going to talk to in a little bit later.
Wow.
He was just asking, hey, you guys going to talk to me at X30 Senior? I'm like, yes, we're going to talk to you there. But I have him winning the KA 100 Senior Division, Connor Zilich. Again, he's won at the SuperNationals before. He won in 2017. Very similar to kind of Paulie Massimino. He didn't win it on the racetrack. He won it in the Tech Barn. Yeah. But still a victory there. He's won the 2020 FIA Academy Trophy Championship. And then he's been one of the top senior drivers all throughout 2021. So 2 podiums at the SuperNationals in the last 3 years there. Finished 6th in the junior KA 100 division in 2019. I just think Zilich is going to be the guy to beat in the KA 100 senior division. He's got the USBKS championship under his belt already this year. He's going to be there. International flavor. Going to throw in the Jamaican, the Jamaican sensation, Alex Powell. I have him finishing in the 2nd position. This is going to be our first time seeing him in senior level competition. He's been racing OK Junior with Kart Republic over in Europe all season long. So this is going to be our first time seeing him in the senior division. Another senior rookie, Alex Stanfield. I have him finishing in the 3rd position. Stanfield, I think, is actually better in the 100cc division than what we've seen in the X30 division, but he's going to be doing double duty. But I have him as kind of the wild card in my KA 100 top 5. And then I have the 2 drivers we just spoke to, with Brandon Lemke finishing in 4th and Paulie Massimino in 5th. Again, kind of like what we talked about with Mini Swift. I think this is going to be like we saw in the first year, where we had 8 different drivers right there battling for the victory to the bitter end. and it could be anybody's race. And I think Connor Zillage is going to pull it out.
I'm feeling like we're going to have that 10 driver pack over the last couple of laps because the minute we're going to see this, I can't remember. I think once it's turn 4, the left-hander where Lemke and Massimino got together, but then the right-hander, where as soon as somebody starts going on the block in the last couple of laps, everybody's going to be back in the fight.
If I recall, that's how Lemke got back up there, because he was again trying to drive his way forward, and we saw a lot of defensive driving, and that helped him get back up there. And again, we saw that in the first year as well too. A lot of defensive driving. That's when Steven Barros was able to come out, I think, coming onto the straightaway with the lead, and he's kind of looking around like, how did I get here?
All right, bring mine up and let's see what I got here. I'm going Massimino. I've seen what Paulie's had here and some of the momentum that he's had over the end of the season. And as I wanted to ask that question, how much he's grown from being able to win that year that he did. And you could hear the focus in his voice where he's kind of putting his head down. I'm thinking Paulie Massimino is going to go for the win. I've got Zillage right there with you. And I think it's going to be that great battle. Of course, these guys have been battling it all year long. My wild card is Brent Cruz. When I saw him in there, I'm like, this is going to be really interesting. Brent's been really strong at the SuperNationals before. Obviously, he's been doing a lot of shifter kart racing, does a lot of different stuff. He was able to win in junior in 2019. He won in mini in 2018. I just see him potentially being in the fight here. I think he's going to be good. So I got Brent Cruz in third. Cole Morgan impressed me all year long. He was very, very calm and cool and collected throughout the season. Going to that championship. That's why I put him P4. And I have trouble going against Brandon Lemke being in the top 5 or being in the fight anytime. Even though he says he's 21 and it could be hung over as crap on Super Sunday, I still have a feeling that I think Brandon's going to be good because this is the kind of race where he's able to excel. I think, David, that's kind of my feeling there. But I'm going Massimino. I think he's going to come through and he's going to get that win that he wants. That he crosses the line with his hands in the air and gets the photo op as well.
Yeah, I like that story. It's a great story. Like he said in the interview, he wants to win it, for sure this time. And as you said, with both hands in the air, we got a lot of questions. One question being Blake Nash. He's obviously a contender. Oh yeah. There's a lot of different names again that could have been on the top 5. Maybe our top 5's a little East Coast biased. I don't know. Is that a possibility?
Throws like I highlighted a lot of guys, right? So I put Cole Morgan. I want to see what Carson Morgan's going to be able to do. Here's this junior champion coming in to throw his name in. Is he going to be a guy that just all of a sudden picks it up and is super comfortable? But David, look, you got guys like Tyler Wettengel. We didn't mention Patrick Woods-Toth before, who's going to be running for Trevor Wicken's Prime Power Team. This guy has won a ton of racing south of the border and north of the border as well, right? So how about Alexander Kardashian? He always shows up and ends up being super fast at these at races like this. There's guys like that I think are going to show.
Yeah, there's a Chase Jones, Hunter Kelly,
Nolan Allison, Thomas Annunziata.
Nolan Allison. I think the Carson Morgan could be a wild card because if he can take that, I don't know if he's going to be able to take that dominance that he had in junior and take it to senior. We haven't seen that, and we've seen drivers be up there and be able to battle. But again, who knows? It's going to be a senior debut. So, and it's at the SuperNationals. I mean, that's a really hard thing to do. I put Powell in there because he's got that European experience. I think
I agree.
You mix that in. We're talking about like a James Wharton. I mean, he came over and won KA 100 junior the first year and then won X30 junior the next year. I think if he would have came back and ran senior, I think he would have been a clear-cut favorite in those categories as well, too.
So what happens, though, David, when Carson Morgan gets up there? He's going to be super fast, right? We've seen this before. If he starts getting some argy-bargy with some of the senior drivers, they may just say, listen, buddy, you're going to the back. We're going to move you off the racetrack or whatever it may be, right? It's a lot of when juniors come up, they have to cut their teeth, right? Got to earn their keep a little bit.
And again, we're going to have the heat groups. Everybody's going to be split up. So you're going to be able to race everybody once if they're not in your group. So that's going to be a different mix for everybody, something new for them. So that, guys could be, being cautious and just going for heat race points. There's a lot of different scenarios that could happen in this category. And again, with 92 different drivers, it's really hard to pick 5.
We pause for this quick commercial break. Stay tuned for more here on the EKN Radio Network. A major milestone for the Challenge of the Americas is coming in 2022. It's the program's 15th season. The Challenge is now one of the longest running programs in North America and will open the new season in January with a 3-event championship series at a trio of the top karting facilities on the West Coast. The 2022 Challenge of the Americas begins on January 28th to 30th at the Musselman Honda Circuit in Tucson, Arizona. A month later, on February 25th, 26th, and 27th, the Challenge is back in Arizona for the Midway event at the historic Phoenix Kart Racing Association facility in Glendale. The champions of the 2022 program will be decided in wine country at the finale at Sonoma Raceway in Northern California on March 25th to 27th. Champions will be awarded a trip to the Rock Cup Super Final in Italy, while other categories will earn entry to the popular Rock Vegas event at the end of the season. Head over to challengekarting.com for more information on the 2022 Challenge of the Americas. Let's rock! Feel like you're racing alongside the many legends that have called CRG home. With direct factory support, the CRG Nordam operation is the North American distributor for all CRG products related to karting and is based just outside Houston, Texas. The complete racing chassis line, including the famous Road Rebel shifter kart, is available through CRG Nordam. The growing FS4 Briggs & Stratton Focus chassis is expanding worldwide, including right here in North America. Many tracks, indoor and outdoor, have made the switch to the Centurion rental kart line through CRG. New for the 2020 season is the Mini Hero for cadet racing, homologated for FIA competitions around the world. Head over to kartcrg.com or find them on all social media networks. Cometic Gasket is a leading worldwide supplier of gaskets and engine sealing solutions for karting, automotive performance, power sports, original equipment, and the remanufactured engine industries. Cometic karting gaskets are available as OE replacement top-end kits or as individual gaskets and seals. Just like competitive karters, Cometic can operate on the fly and has the unique capability to customize any gasket to meet specific engine requirements and clearances. All of Cometic's fiber materials are asbestos-free and do not require any additional sealants. Viton oil ring cylinder head seals are used in each 2-cycle kit, and Cometic's 4-cycle engine kits feature only the most advanced multi-layer steel head gaskets. Cometic can tailor to engine builder specific needs through bulk ordering and packaging flexibility. Cometic gaskets are must-haves for championship-winning teams across multiple disciplines of both professional and amateur motorsports. Cometic Gasket, sealing championships since 1989. All right, let's jump into X30 Senior and have our little outlap preview here. Rawlison Performance Group, the sponsor of the X30 Senior category, 86 entries in total. And let's look at some of the past winners. The most recent victor was actually Zachary Claymont-DeMello, the Canadian, winning in 2019. We saw Ben Cooper come in for Rawlison and win in 2018. Josh Carr was the victor in 2017. Was that the shortened race, David? Did we shorten that race?
No, that was actually the year that Travis Anutu took the checkered flag, but was penalized for jumping the start.
The shortened race was in the Masters class.
Yes,
right.
and that's the one year that Foster finished second. And he was behind Chris Walton, who's from Australia as well, too.
Huge last lap pass win for Jake Craig over at the Convention Center to win in 2016. And Louis Pagano, a very emotional win back in 2015. You can go deeper into some of the tag senior winners as well, because there's just been some great drivers who have been able to win there.
Yeah, just some notable, again, 2004 was my first year there. And IndyCar driver Toby Schechter actually won the event that year. The first ever tag senior winner at the SuperNationals. I know you know who it is, Rob. Do you know? The Freck, Chris Freckleton.
Freckleton.
He's got to be in his 40s as well too, right? So he's like the Matt Johnson age group. David Yurka in 2005. Daniel Morad was the first Canadian to win in 2006. Joel Millard in 2007. Andre Nicastro was probably the most memorable tag senior victory. That was the year that him and David Serra got together coming to the start-finish line. And again, still that one race that Sarah hasn't won. And hopefully next year he'll be like Kip Foster and coming back to the SuperNationals. But when you look at the field overall, 16 different countries represented with 36 drivers from outside the United States. 6 former SuperNational winners in the field, including 3 winners in this X30 Tag Senior Division. 37 different drivers making their first start at the SuperNationals. I have no records of them actually racing ever at the SuperNationals. So nearly half the field making their first SuperNational start. I have 18 drivers who raced in 2019, 15 drivers who were juniors that are now racing in X30 Senior as well. And we actually have 3 former world karting champions in the field, along with 2 current IndyCar drivers in the field.
I love it. Well, you want to start by throwing out the IndyCar drivers right now, Joseph Newgarden and Will Power.
Yeah, we've already covered that on social media, and they'll be racing under the MPG Motorsports and Will Power Kart tent. We saw both of those drivers at the USPKS finale at GoPro. Power obviously was right there all weekend long, certainly had the top 10 speed. Newgarden hadn't raced a kart in years, so and then no testing whatsoever. So we'll see kind of the shape that he's in when he gets to Vegas, if he's gotten some more laps testing under his belt.
So let's talk to a couple of the drivers that we are lined up here. And it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Let's start, guys. 4-time Superkarts USA champion. Let's bring in Ryan Norberg, the reigning USPKS champion as well. Ryan, thank you so much for joining us, buddy. It's good to have you with us.
Hi, how's it going?
It's going good. We're excited, man. Anytime we dive into these preview podcasts, it gets us all jacked up. How excited are you for this event? Because I'll throw it out there. It's the elephant in the room for this particular conversation, but this is a race like Jordan Musser, who has a fantastic record. You're obviously one of the, on your way to becoming a legend in the sport of American karting based on your resume. You haven't won the SuperNationals yet. What kind of pressure does that put on you?
Well, it doesn't put a lot, honestly, because there's a lot of good drivers that haven't won the SuperNats as well. Like you guys mentioned, David Serra is like another like legend in the sport that hasn't won it. It doesn't put any pressure that it normally does. This is a race that everybody wants to win. And so I'm just trying to go in it with a different mindset. Normally I'm, the week before I'm just constantly thinking about the SuperNats and just like, what am I going to do? How am I going to attack this? Looking at the entry list and all the other drivers. And this year I'm taking a different approach to it and just kind of keeping my head straight and not really trying to think about it too much and just enjoy Thanksgiving and then, just go after it. I'm just trying to take it easy and not to stress too much about it.
I find that interesting because I take you as being a very methodical guy when it comes to coming in. You break things down. I've had a chance to watch a lot of your YouTube stuff. And if anybody hasn't followed Ryan on his YouTube channel, there's a lot of great stuff for young racers coming up in the sport. And you're pretty methodical. You have a way you approach things and the way you handle certain situations. You're prepared for situations. Are you kind of relying on yourself saying, I know I'll handle whatever situation comes. You'll just change the mindset going in?
Pretty much. And something that like it's Vegas. So like the track is always different, even though it's the same layout as 2019, it's a different surface. So you don't know what's going to happen. And I feel like a lot of the time I'm stressing over stuff that I don't know, like I'm stressing about a driver and how fast they're going to be. And like, for example, in 2019, I thought, Taylor Barnard was coming over. I was like, wow, this guy's going to be really good. I went out, watched his first session, was kind of just stressing over a driver that I saw was doing well in Europe. And then, he just didn't have the speed, which not saying he's not a good driver, but he just didn't have the speed that week. Mm-hmm. And so it was something that was like, all right, well, why did I spend so much time worrying about this particular person and worrying about how I'm going to beat him? And when I just need to be focusing on like the task at hand, which is just going out there the first session, learning the racetrack, and then trying to build a setup going into qualifying.
That's exactly it. Here's a question about Rawlson Performance Group. And obviously, you joined the team there a number of years ago, and you've been kind of their guy up front, winning championships for the Pro Tour, of course, winning one this year in the USPKS. But you're also kind of the team captain to a certain extent, right? You do a lot of work with the younger drivers. Well, you've got some drivers who have stepped things up, man. You're battling out with whether it's Hannah Greenmeyer or Nate Cicero. How does that feel when you're having to race so hard against some of the guys and they beat you in a couple races? Well, how do they have the gall to do that, right?
Yeah, well, it's different for sure. I think it's a learning curve for everybody on our team because I don't remember a team other than OGP back in the day that had a lot of drivers on a team that were just all up front. A lot of the drivers that we race against are all different teams. And so now you've got 4 or 5 guys every race that you have to go back to your pit stall and you're right next to them. So you really have to be careful out there. But I think, there's a level of pride that I take in our team and making it this way that everybody who comes under there is fast. And so, I feel like I played a part in that, and everybody on the team played a part in that. And so that feels really good to see the hard work that we put into the team and see it pay off, that, Hayden could come to the team in his first race, he's up to speed and we're competing. And so that, that gives you a level of pride, but for sure it's difficult. It's a different way of racing. And I know that I'm, changing my driving style for that. Because there's times that, I try and play the team game over the personal game, and, we all get bit doing that here and there. So yeah, it's difficult, but in the end, it's racing, and it's the way racing's evolving for me. And so you have to adapt and you have to overcome that stuff, or you're just going to fall to the back of the pack.
You've got the championships on the resume. Obviously, one of the things you have is really experience, right? Because I think a lot of, especially the young kids that come in, especially the X30 senior level, they've done KA 100 junior and X30 junior, and they're full of piss and vinegar, and they think they know what to do. But when you get the middle of that, absolute battleground in X30 senior, especially in the heat races, you make a couple of mistakes in the heat race, and you're not even going to make the main.
And so, yeah, I think that's something that's interesting. I think that veteran drivers do really well in the heats, and the young guns do a lot better in the finals. I was talking to Alex Speed about this a few races back, but we were both talking. We're like, dude, I think I'm out thinking myself and making myself go slower, because I'm sitting here like, this guy's going to do this and this, and I'm trying all these different angles, and I'm realizing I'm just wasting time and overthinking the situation, where a lot of these young guys are just going for it. And I think that was something I struggled with in 2020, was I was racing a lot of these guys that were just, the green flag dropped, and every single lap they're attacking. And that's not really my game. My game has always been wait till about, 10 laps in, and then we start, picking our way back up. And so that was a big change for me, was to kind of tell myself, don't think so much, just go. Just when the green flag drops, you attack every single lap and you go for it. And I think that's changed a lot of the way racing has gone in the past couple of years. But yeah, like you said, I think the veteran drivers and the experience that I have helps a lot in the heats, because you can tame your emotions and you can keep calm and not go for that pass, because there's points involved. But when the final drops, I think the younger drivers normally have the upper hand there, because they're just going for it. And if you leave a half cart length open, they're going to go for it, and they're going to make you pay for it. So that's definitely something that I'm thinking about, and I need to make sure that I kind of just am in attack the whole weekend.
Oh, I love it. All right. Go, Dave.
Is something? So your first SuperNats was 2016, and obviously that year was racing for a championship. So you probably were in a different type of mentality there. But is that something that you would tell your 2016 yourself? Is that to not worry about what other people are doing and just kind of focus on yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I would. It was a different situation, because that was my first ever national championship of any kind. So I really wanted to win that really bad. Okay. Just because I wanted to put myself on the map. So the whole week was kind of survive everything, warm up, qualifying, just survive everything. And so, looking back, I probably would have told myself to go for it a little more, but I won the championship. I did what I had to do. And I'm so happy that it's not a part of the championship anymore, because it does change how you race, and it puts you definitely at a disadvantage if you're racing for a championship. So yeah, I mean, it's been a rough go for me at all the SuperNats, and I have speed. I just can't seem to get it done. So hopefully this year we can make it work.
Well, we'll be hoping for you, Ryan. Thanks for joining us, buddy. We appreciate it. We'll see you trackside on Tuesday.
Yeah, of course.
Ryan Norberg, folks, one of the absolute best, #1 driver in the country, David. 4 championships in the Pro Tour. Also, USPKS champion, finished 8th in 2019, 25th in 2018, 5th in 17, and 8th in 2016. So there's been top 10s there, David, but he's just not that win.
He's got the podium experience, so that's that again. Yeah. He can check that off. Again, like he said, he raced for a championship that first year, his first ever SuperNationals. So that it's a different mentality. So now that that's gone, like he said, he's changed his mindset now going into the SuperNationals, where it's just about him. And again, he has that experience. So we'll see. Again, is it youth that's going to pay off, or is it going to be experience that pays off?
Well, Ryan, I remember Ryan coming in, whatever championship battle who he was fighting, they were literally like running 17th and 23rd. They weren't even in the top 10 the first year he won the championship. I think the second year, the same thing when it was still.
I think it was Jarzakrak, yeah.
Yeah, there you go, Jarzakrak. And they were obviously battling for the championship. So our next guest already has a championship locked. She doesn't have to run for the championship anyway. She's been able to get the Pro Tour Championship in X30 Senior. She won at the Spring Nationals, a winner as well at the USPKS, and part of the Mazda Motorsports Spec MX5 Shootout finalists. Let's welcome in Hannah Greenmeyer to join us here on the show as well. Hannah, welcome to the show.
Thanks, guys. How's it going?
It's going really, really good. We're super excited about getting to the SuperNats, and I know you probably will be as well. Let's take the time on the show here now to congratulate you on that championship. I'm not sure what's happened Pro Tour banquet-wise yet with everything that's happened, but you roll in as a champion. Got to feel pretty good.
I know. It's a pretty good feeling, not going to lie. So I can't wait to rep that #1. So, yep.
I like it. Has it taken any pressure off getting that first big championship that you wanted to get, or has it put more pressure on you because you just want to achieve more and more now?
I would say a little bit of both.
Okay.
I definitely don't feel that monkey on my back of getting the Pro Tour Championship, just because that's been the one that I've wanted for so long. Right. But also maybe a little bit more just because I don't want to be like a one-off thing. I want to be like Ryan and go for 4 or 5. So that's ultimately the goal, and we'll see how it shakes out. But yeah.
David's asking about the #1. Are you allowed to? Are you running the #1 plate?
We can run We can run our national number, so our single digit on the front fairing, and then we're the 3-digit numbers on the rest of them. So I'll have a #1.
Okay.
So
I like having the #1 on the front and not on the back, so it's like a full-on bullseye
target.
The target, right? Now listen. So you're coming.
Well, it's not like I don't have a target on my back already.
That's very true. That is 100% true. I think we got a little bit of a lag on with Hannah, so we'll give her some time. Here's a question I have for you. So at Rock Vegas, you ran the shifter, correct?
Yep.
So why? Why did you run the shifter? Just for something different?
So for Rock, I've been in the shifter category for the past couple of years. I'm just not the biggest fan of the GP, and with Bonner Moulton and Mike Beanie being my coaches and them being 2 of the best shifter kart drivers, I wanted to learn from them. And since I've been 5 years old, that's all I've really wanted to do is like be a shifter kart driver. Nice. So, yeah. And I mean, shifter kart racing is much harder. So it kind of keeps me in shape, to be honest.
Let's talk about your past SuperNationals experiences. I think you finished 12th back in 2019. Yep. Obviously, you come in with a much different mindset, right? We talked about it with Paulie Massimino. He was able to get that victory, but it's 2 years later. We've been lucky to watch how much growth you've had over the last 2 years. How much different do you feel going into this one than you felt back in 2019?
I feel less pressure. I don't know. I can say that this past week and a half, I've been so excited. I've never been so excited for a race in my life. So, but yeah, I'm just going to go and have fun. It's a one-off race. So, I don't have to I need to be cautious, but I don't have to be my normal super calculated while I'm racing, and try and go for a 6-round thing.
Yeah. So very similar to what Ryan said, right? Just be able to go in and kind of just lay it all out there for one race. You're not trying to win a championship. It's all about trying to get P1, which I think is fantastic for you. Now let's talk about this racetrack as well. Is it a track that you like? I've asked most of the guys about that. Is it a track you feel comfortable on?
Yeah. Since it's been the same for 2018 and 2019, I feel pretty comfortable with it. There's not as many passing zones as I would like. But I mean, in a way it's easier. We all don't have to really learn a new track. So, it's easier to just start setting up the go-kart and just focusing on the little things that are going to make the biggest difference, at the end of the weekend.
Recently, you were able to take part in the Spec MX-5 Mazda shootout, and you also did Lucas Oil School as well. Kind of talk about those two experiences, because we haven't spoken to you since those two events.
Yeah, it was a really awesome experience for both of them. Mazda put on a great shootout, and I will say that I wish that I would have had some car experience going into that shootout. I just didn't feel like I could really show them who I am when it comes to racing. And then the Lucas Oil School was super fun. I've never been a big fan of school, but a racing school is kind of in my realm.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was cool to be coached by Pippa Mann and RC Anderson. So, yeah, and I think part of that's just gonna help me do better in a go-kart. So yeah,
I love it. So all right, so listen, we wish you the best of luck. We got a couple more people to chat with. Congratulations again on the championship this year. Obviously a huge weekend at Newcastle to get that wrapped up. You won at the USPKS level as well, and man, listen, the resume looks like it could have a little spot there for a number one at the SuperNats. I'm sure that you'd like to put that trophy on the trophy case as well.
Yeah, hopefully it's definitely I'll be clearing off a space for it. And hopefully it comes in this year, but we got some more shots at it too.
I love it. Hannah, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me, guys.
That's awesome. David, I'll tell you one thing about Hannah, which I love, is the fact that, like back in the days when it was a Danica Patrick or a Juliana Chioviti or a Sabra Cook or an Ashley Rogero, Hannah's that young lady, that driver, that younger drivers, I don't care if it's a boy or a girl, can look up to and say, man, you know what? She faced adversity. She's, like she said, it's not like she's not always been racing with a target on her back, right? She's been in the middle of a lot of battles being a young lady in our sport, but she has kind of approached it and taken it with such grace and such focus too. And to see her win the championship this year, I just think was huge for American karting on the whole.
Yeah, it's kind of, we've had Ashley Rogero come through and be that lead female driver, and you know, Hannah's kind of looked up to her. They've obviously have talked to one another in multiple times over the years, and so now Hannah's kind of taken that role, certainly with picking up victories and the Pro Tour Championship this year. So again, that's one thing we've talked about with Mazda and other programs, is there's a lot of female karters coming up through the ranks right now. There's, you know, from cadet to junior and now in the senior ranks as well too. So it's great to see in our sport.
No doubt about it. We've got a great lineup. We got one more driver to bring in before we jump into the predictions, then go through that list of drivers and kind of pick out some of the names that we think we're going to see up front. One of the guys who's been so impressive over the last number of years in junior karting, and of course now kind of getting into car racing as well, and into his year here in senior for the first time, Connor Zilic joining us here on this EKN OutLap. Connor, thanks for hanging in there. I know that we started talking about 90 minutes ago in the studio, so thanks for coming back. Dude, big weekend coming up. We love having you, bud.
Thank you.
Huge weekend. You've had a great season. You've had some big wins.
Yeah.
When you look at the SuperNationals, your first time running against these guys, what are your thoughts coming into the SuperNats?
Like Ryan said, SuperNats is a different animal, so you never really know what you're going to expect coming in. Luckily, I've had pretty good experience. I've raced it 3 different years, 5 different classes for 5 different races, and I've never finished outside the top 6 with a win and 2 second places. So that's better than a lot of people can say they've done at SuperNats, which is favoring me. But obviously, X30 seniors could be way different than anything I've ever done, because I always watch the race. That's the one race you have to watch every year you go race it. So I'm really looking forward to getting out there and actually being in the race with all those guys. Travis Snudo's coming, Norberg's coming. There's a lot of top guys out there that I'm really looking forward to racing. So hopefully I can come in and get a top 5. Hopefully I can win. Obviously, you never really know until the last lap, last corner. I've lost 2 races there in the last corner. So it's difficult to say, but all I can do is hope.
You mentioned the consistency of the results you've had, right? Like you said, you've had really good performances. You've always been in the fight for the race win or a podium, whatever it may be. What would you attribute that to? Is there something about your style at the SuperNationals, or is it the fact that it's a one-off race and maybe you had a little bit more, you got a lot of experience, right? Is there a calmness you have coming into a race like this that maybe others don't have?
I'm going with luck.
Really?
I could say it's calmness. I could say it's keeping my composure, but it's Vegas.
Isn't that crazy?
At the end of the day, it's all luck.
Wow, that's nuts. Your first SuperNationals running senior, as you had said. I love when people are chatting in on you. You can you'll take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Connor, your first year in senior at the SuperNationals, man, that's like you said. David and I are scrolling in through our spreadsheets. It is an absolutely stacked field. I kind of want to get your feeling on. Are you feeling any nerves, or is it like a straight up, hey, I'm just going to roll out there and see where I start? You know what I mean?
I'm going in with nothing to lose. I mean, if I go out there and win, I'll be happy, obviously. But if I go out there and I finish 5th, then it's whatever. I mean, you can't go into SuperNats with high expectations. It's just a race where you don't know what's going to happen, and you just have to take in the experience while you're there. It's definitely one of the most fun races of the year, without a doubt. I mean, the atmosphere, obviously this year it's going to be a little different being at the Speedway, but it's still a special race, and that's the most fun part about it. I mean, winning obviously adds on to it, but you kind of just have to take what you can get when you're there.
It's funny that you say that, because that's a lot of conversations I've had with guys that like to try to keep that they don't want to focus too much on the win or whatever it may be, or even what's going to happen in front of them, because all it takes is one wreck in the first heat race, and all of a sudden the rest of your weekend's changed, right? You're really trying to then change your mindset. I think coming in with a completely open slate and saying, I'll just take whatever comes at me, that's probably the best way to approach this kind of a weekend.
Yeah, I mean, like Ryan said, you have to drive with a completely different driving style. So it's different than any other race, which makes coming into it a different mindset. So, I mean, I can go in. I mean, I'm obviously going to be as calm and keep myself cool throughout the weekend, but there's only so much that I can do that's in my control. So I'm going to do what I can, but you never know with Vegas.
I think that's the best bet, David.
With you doing both KA 100 senior and X30 senior, do you have any bit of confidence in one or the other, or are they just kind of both, even?
I mean, I always like winning an X30 more than KA. It's kind of like the premier class. KA has obviously got a few more drivers in it this year, but X30 has always been the class that I enjoy winning the most. So hopefully I'll be able to pull it out in X30. And I mean, KA as well. Thanks for mentioning me in yours, David. Rob, hopefully I'll prove you wrong.
Yeah,
obviously I don't want to be the one to finish second again. So
yes.
Hopefully I'll prove you wrong.
That's good. I hope you do too. Go for it, man. Let's give you a chance to talk about your team a little bit, Connor, before we wrap up here and bring our predictions in for X30 Senior. You got a great crew, and I know that it's interesting. Even at your young age, you're not just the one of the drivers there, but they also lean on you to coach some of the younger drivers as well. Let's talk about the team a bit first while we wrap things up.
Yeah, I've been with Nitro Kart this year since the beginning of the year, and it's really been a new experience for me, and being able to help all those kids and see them progress and seeing their parents, like having the parents come up to me and telling me like, thank you for your help. Like this wouldn't have happened without you. It's just like one of the best feelings. So being there and helping those micro and mini cadet kids out it's a feeling of no other. So hopefully at SuperNats, I can get one of those kids on the top step. I've been pretty successful this year with Keelan and Tristan Murphy, Ashton Moon. They've all done really well this year. And I've really enjoyed helping all of them. And I mean, even the X30 program and KA program, it's pretty behind the scenes because the cadet chassis kind of takes over the tent. But I mean, they work their butts off to get me to the front in the X30 class and KA class. I mean, it's all around a very well run program by Nick Tucker and all the people there. So I've really enjoyed my year there. I mean, it's very family community, and hopefully I'll be able to come back next year and do some one-off races. I'm not going to be able to do a full season, but I definitely enjoy to come back and do some more races next year for sure.
That is super cool to hear a kid like you at your age, so young in your career, getting a chance to work with the young kids and really enjoying it and getting that positive feedback as well. Let's wrap this up and talk about next year. Where are you going to be? What are you racing for 2022?
MX5 Cup is certain. I've got some other stuff still on the verge, still some contract stuff we need to work through, but it's coming soon. I can tell you that. I'm really looking forward to it. It's gonna be a really full and exciting year, that's for sure. And
Connor, we love it, man. That's awesome.
I'm super excited for it.
Yeah, that's great. That's fantastic. Listen, I have no doubt that we'll be talking about you throughout the weekend. You'll be in the middle of the fight in both KA 100 and as David obviously has picked you. So X30 senior as well. Best of luck, buddy. We'll see you trackside on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me. Have a good one.
Thanks, Connor. David, we've been covering this kid here for a couple of years, man. He is a talent for sure. And I love hearing him talk about the fact working with the young guys, right? Because I just think to be able to give back the knowledge you have, I just think that's such a cool thing for a kid. He's only 16 years old, right? This is amazing.
Yeah, that's the interesting part about it, because he's gone from that cadet we saw 4 years ago to now a driver coach. It's a quick turnaround, but he has just that natural ability, understands racecraft, understands setup. It really just has that mindset of being able to teach others, especially the younger kids, because again, Connor Zillage is like an idol to them right now. So they're going to listen. It's like playing basketball with Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant or LeBron James right now.
Well, we're almost done here, folks. Just pro shifter to come, but we got to make some predictions here for the X30 senior category. David, what do you got?
Well, Connor's not going to really like this because I do have him finishing in the third position. But, I have to go back. We talk about redemption, and with redemption, it comes with Lorenzo Travasanuto having that victory taken away in 2017. And I have him coming back for his first SuperNational since 2018, where he finished. I got to find it here. I finished 6th in 2018. I have him coming back to win it this year. He's done a lot of shifter kart racing this year, done a lot of KZ2, won the KZ2 World Cup. But I think you could jump him right back into the single speed with Parolin USA, backing him up this weekend. He's got a lot of coaching. He's done a lot of coaching with a lot of drivers under the Parolin factory tent. So I think he just has that knowledge and capability to be able to best the field. And again, being a 2-time world champion doesn't hurt as well too. I have Hannah Greenmeyer finishing in 2nd Pro Tour champion. I think she showed it. She's got the confidence right now of just coming in and being able to do it and prove everybody that she is one of the top drivers in the country for sure. And I already mentioned Zillage in the 3rd position. I have another world champion finishing in 4th with Danny Curl. He is I'm going to find out what year it was, 2017 world champion. So another driver who's been successful finished runner-up last year. So finished 11th in the 1 year that he came, and that was when Kart Republic first debuted. And he was racing with Kart Republic the same year he won the world championship. So that kind of talent with him and Lorenzo, I think you just cannot ignore. And then I got Ryan Norberg finishing in 5th. I think this is probably going to be his best SuperNationals overall. I think he's going to be one of the top contenders all week long. And I think he'll be on the podium. Again, anything could happen. He could come out the victory. Zillage could win it. Hannah Greenmeyer, Danny, any of them could win. And again, there's a number of different drivers that I could have picked to be in the top 5.
But, I'm with you.
That's who I went with.
Yeah. And as mine rolls up here, you and I have similar thoughts, except for I got this one. I'm going Ryan Norberg. And the way he was talking right there made me feel like, I made a good pick right there, because Ryan, you get to that point when you've won the championships, and it takes a bit of pressure off, I think. And what he said there, he'd love to win this thing, but he's done a lot with his career as it is. And it's just a little different mindset coming in. I think Ryan's going to be the man to beat. I think some of the chaos behind is going to allow some guys to potentially break away. I'm right there with you with Travasanuto, and I was toying with the fact that he was going to come back and be able to get that win, because it was kind of stolen away from him to a certain extent on a jump start when you're the pole sitter. I don't know how that happens, but Travasanuto in 2nd. I've got Connor Zillage P3 as well. It's so crazy. It's so crazy how you and I are so similar sometimes when we both hate each other so much. Listen, I went Nate Cicero. P4. You didn't bring Nate up.
I didn't know.
Rawson Performance Group. He has been so good this year, so impressive. Won Rock Vegas. He has had such great momentum, and I just see him. I see him stepping up his game in a big way, and there's a lot of confidence. Obviously, was able to win the Club Factory scholarship to run for Mazda next year as well. So that's kind of a mindset thing for Nate as well. I got him running in the top 5 P4. And I'm with you on Danny Kiril. Every time we've had him over here for Fullerton USA first, and then on the Kart Republic, as you said, he's been amazing. And I'm a big fan of what Danny Kiril can do. He's been running the X30, I believe, all year in the UK. So I think he's going to come over here and hit the ground running. They're going to run with Trinity Karting Group. We've seen what they've been able to do for the last couple of days as well. There's so many guys we probably could have picked out of this group, but David, for me, those were the 5 guys. 5 guys I'm throwing out there to potentially get themselves onto the podium.
When they talk about making film in the cutting room floor, there's a lot of drivers on the cutting room floor that we could have easily put one in here, put one here, put one there, and it's just
like throw these out. Like throw the fact that both the Lupien brothers are back. They were top 5 guys, right? When they ran. The Lupien guys and the brothers are back. Who else? Patrick Woods Toth in this one here as well. We didn't even mention Brandon Jarsakrak, for God's sakes.
Yeah, I got a text from him. He's a little upset. I didn't call him to join us on the show. But when the Shillington slingshots washed up, you don't bring him on the show. But maybe this will drive him. But this will maybe drive him to drive better in Vegas.
Yeah,
we'll see.
He
did finish 5th last year, two years ago. So I don't know. He's one that's on the floor. Marco Mastranzi, who won in previously joining PSL
from the back of the pack.
Yeah, he has the opportunity. Hayden Jones has done well under the RPG tent of recently.
Mm-hmm. Great.
A lot of different drivers that we can pick from. Jack Craig's coming back.
Jack Jeffers for sure.
Well, you mentioned Nate Cicero. Jack Jeffers was a driver that got passed at Rock Vegas by Nate Cicero. So he could be one of the wild cards. Braden Eves coming back. We've seen him do really well every time he comes back to karting. We didn't even mention last year's winner, Zachary Clayman DeMello.
I know.
So, he's always been a wild card. He's got 2 podiums in the last 3 times he's been at the SuperNationals.
Carson and Cole Morgan, both those guys could be, Cole Morgan could definitely be in the fight. Thomas Annunziata has been one of the drivers I've been talking about all year long, is really impressing me every time he rolls off. How about a couple of Californians like Jake Drew or Colby Dubato? Like Jake Drew could step up. He's been running stock cars all year, but anytime he gets in a kart, he's going to be good, right?
Yeah. Basically what it boils down to is our preview for X30 Senior is going to be published on Saturday. I want everybody to go on there and figure out their top 5. And if it's completely different from ours, then good on you, because I don't know how you can do that with the drivers that we have.
Here's the challenge. When we post that thing up on Facebook, in the commentary, give us your top 5. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. We'll print out our full predictions on Monday prior to us getting to the SuperNationals. So hopefully, even on the previews though that we publish, that we've already published and will be publishing, go ahead, throw your top 5s up there.
Yeah. We pause for this quick commercial break. Stay tuned for more here on the EKN Radio Network.
You want the best, you just gotta roll with the best. Streeter Superstands. This is Jeff Wessel from StreeterSuperstands.com. You wouldn't put subpar parts on your racing cart, so why put that cherished ride of yours on anything but karting's #1 lifts and stands, Streeter Superstands. Streeter is the original and genuine manufacturer of the second-to-none Bigfoot rolling stands, stackers, uprights, and industry-leading Superlift. We also manufacture and sell the largest and always growing roster of trailer and shop accessories like tire, engine and jug racks, cabinets, spray can trays, bead breakers, and tons more to outfit any size trailer, team, and budget. Streeter Superstands has over 30 continuous years of experience. We're kart racers just like you and know that the Streeter name represents the absolute best in stands, lifts, and accessories for karting enthusiasts worldwide. Durability, affordability, unmatched quality, and customer service, that's what sets us apart from the rest. Check us out now at StreeterSuperstands.com. Roll with the best, StreeterSuperstands.com.
Are you ready to step up your game? If so, joining the Rawlson Performance Group is the obvious choice to take your racing to the next level. Industry-leading driver development is provided by our staff of multi-time national champions, SuperNationals winners, and Team USA members. And at the same time, RPG continues to be a national-level powerhouse race team. Our goal is to help you raise your game and win races. We work with all age groups, and we're focused on developing cadet and junior drivers who are ready to take the next step in their racing program. Rawlson Performance Group has set a new standard with our in-house engine program, AVP Engines, headed by Alex Vincent. AVP has become the benchmark in both IAME and ROC competition. We also have the largest OTK inventory that follows our race team, providing trackside parts at all the major events in North America. RPG also offers multilingual support with French, Spanish, and Portuguese-speaking staff. If you want to fight for championships or want to improve your skills and your chances to win, the answer is to call RPG at 503-260-4514. The Rawlson Performance Group. We race to win. Fast, fair, and fun. Ignite Spec Karting offers you all of that at an affordable price. And the all-new IgniteKarting.com website provides you with the information you need to fuel your passion for kart racing. Ignite Karting is a spec kart that features the Margay racing chassis with a Briggs & Stratton 206 engine and a Hoosier R80 tire. Everyone in the junior, senior, and masters classes utilize the same Ignite K3 kart, which puts all the emphasis squarely on the driver. You can race the Ignite package from Margay at the local, regional, and national level. Special events for 2021 include the Ignite Majors, featuring events at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, Quincy Grand Prix, and Newcastle Motorsports Park. Those in the Midwest can enjoy the regional-based Ignite Challenge Series at tracks in Iowa, Missouri, Indiana, and Illinois. Local club programs have been established in Idaho, Texas, Nebraska, New York, Ohio, and Florida. All the information that you're looking for on events throughout the country and on all the Ignite kart packages, including dealers in your area, is available at IgniteKarting.com. Get off the couch and on the track this year. Ignite Karting. Fuel your passion. We'd love to hear it. All right, let's wrap things up here, folks. One more category to talk about is Pro Shifter, presented by PSL Karting. 51 entries. Again, remember the Pro Shifter's been different things, right? In the early days, it was like a 125 Pro, and then it turned into Formula S1, and then the S1 became Super Pro for about 8 or 9 years, 2001 to 2009, and then we had the KZ and the S1 Pro Shifter class, kind of blending from 2010 to 2019. It is Pro Shifter this year, and David, obviously the top three guys in the Pro Tour points are the first guys you have to talk about. AJ Myers winning another championship, Jake French, perennial front runner, and Billy Musgrave, 4-time champion at the SuperNationals.
Yeah, that's the really three of the headline drivers that we're going to be watching throughout the week. Myers has been really dominant throughout the season. Only had that one race where he faltered and wasn't able to complete it. But Jake French has been right there on his bumper. And then Billy Musgrave has been there, but just not – there's almost like that little bit that he was missing all season long. But anytime you get to the SuperNationals, he's been able to do it. So he finds it. So that's a story in itself alone. Just those three drivers, and not to mention the other 48 that are going to be in the field as well. So kind of some notes regarding the category. 12 countries represented, 17 drivers from outside the United States. 6 former SuperNational winners are in the field. 5 drivers who are Pro Tour champions are in the field as well. And we mentioned AJ Myers and Jake French. Those are 2 of them alone. And we'll be talking to another one here in a little bit. And then 2 shifter kart world champions in the field as well. We talked about David Foray, 47-year-old, going to be racing in the Pro Shifter division, coming back to the SuperNationals. And then who is the other world champion? I'm trying to think of. Pedro Hiltbrand. You're right. So I have 3. Sorry, I forgot about that. Kremers, the shifter kart champion, and then Pedro Hiltbrand was a world karting champion in 2016.
Yeah, and 1 future IndyCar driver as well, right?
Yes. Sorry, I was on the wrong class. That's why I had that wrong. So yeah, you're right. It was Kremers and Foray were the world champions. One IndyCar driver coming from. Well, he's technically, I guess he is Canadian, right? but I think he's been living in the United States for a long
time. He lives in Miami.
I think he's kind of dual citizen anyway, but we'll give him to you because you guys need some more IndyCar drivers from Canada.
All right, we'll take it. Devlin DiFrancesco.
Yep. So that'll be good. Teaming up with Leading Edge Motorsports on the Formula K. So that'll be cool to see. He'll be working with our upcoming guest.
You know, one driver he told me he was coming, but I don't see him. Stingray Rob told me he was going to race. I don't see him on the list there.
Yeah, not on the entry list. So maybe something popped up with that.
Well, so listen, let's bring in the guy that's going to be our guest here for the Pro Shifter category. 3-time SuperNationals winner, 2016 Pro Tour champions, 5 podiums, folks, over the last 6 SuperNationals. Let's say hello to Danny Formal. Danny, thank you so much, bud, for coming back. It's been almost 2 hours since we last chatted, so I hope you had something to eat. Great to have you with us, Danny. Man, congratulations on another great year. Rock Vegas win, and we'll see what happens this year.
Hey, guys. Hey, Dave. Hey, Rob. Yeah, man, super excited to be here. Super excited for Vegas week. It's the most exciting time of the year for me. November is just the best month ever. This is a little later than normal. Yeah. Normally, I'm already eating all the food that I want to eat, all the pizzas, all the burgers.
I was going to get to that.
As you can see my face, I look like I haven't eaten food in 2 weeks. Trying to make the weight. Scusa helped me out with 5 pounds. So the weight's 390 now. So that helps a little bit, right? Maybe in and out on Saturday night.
There we go. So is that an invitation for Josh Lane to send you food pics all week long?
No, exactly. Me and Josh, back in the day with DRT, always trying to make weight, Honda days. And yeah, it's a difficult situation for me for sure.
Yeah, that is so funny. And for those of you who don't know, obviously Daniel's won a lot of races, of course, at the SuperNats event, and has always been up front. But he's a bigger guy, and so to try to get down to weight, he's got to slim down hard. And then he hits the food, hits the buffet line on Sunday night for sure. Dan, let's go back and talk a little bit about obviously the wins you've had here at the SuperNationals, some of your biggest and best. Describe what it's like to win here, because you've shown the emotion, right? I don't think some of the people understand how big it is and how important it is for some guys to win here at the SuperNationals.
No, Rob, you just said it. Like I said, 2011, my first SuperNats, finished second in Tag Senior. And I saw the emotions of people winning. I was a kid. I was 14 years old when I did my first SuperNats in Tag Senior. And it was, I watched, I used to see you guys' magazine and look at people winning. And my dad never took me to the race. Back then, my dad was paying for all my racing, no pro racing, just, paying for everything. And I told my dad in 2010, I remember December, my birthday's in December, I got a magazine and I saw the winners from SuperNats. I'm like, Dad, why have we never done this? He's like, oh, it's expensive. It's across the country, but let's do it next year. And Marco DeLeo gave me the chance, helped us out with some things. And, we got second. And from that moment on, 2011 to 2021, this will be 10th year for me doing SuperNats. It's just something that you can't describe. The win when I won in 2015 was probably one of the best weekends of my life. I won every single on-track session. When I crossed the line on Sunday, that checker flag, it felt like I've won a lot of things, guys, and this win is just something out of this planet. It's seriously just the emotions, how hard the teams work, how hard everything has to be. Everything has to be perfect. The luck, the motor, the chassis, the tire pressure, getting everything right. It's just so much pressure going on to that final, those last 25 laps. Make sure you got the jetting right. Make sure you got everything right. Get 100%, because you're 98%, you're not going to win. And yeah, it's just incredible. And seriously, to win the SuperNats is just something out of this planet.
It obviously takes something special, and not just with the driver, but with all the equipment, like you said. Everything has to be actually bang on, and you have that connection with your team owner, your mechanic, whatever it may be. You and Greg Bell have had a fantastic relationship with Leading Edge Motorsports. You're on the Formula K chassis. Can you talk a little bit about the relationship that you two guys have and how you've been able to morph that into the fact that you guys, you're like the big event team, right? You guys, and it's a major event. You guys step up to the plate and you're able to get those wins, man. It separates you guys, I think, from some of the other drivers on the grid.
To be honest, this year has been different for me, Rob. Around March of this year, I decided to move back to Costa Rica from working in the United States full time in 2020. I started racing a lot of cars. So Greg called me. He's like, "Hey, do you want to get the band back together?" And I was, "Of course, man." We went to NOLA. We had good pace. Our whole package wasn't there, to be honest with you. Chassis wasn't 100%. Engine wasn't 100%. We could manage 2 top 3s. I think I was in second actually on Saturday, and my shift lever broke. But yeah, nothing to keep up with AJ. He was in another planet. And that was my last race with Greg. Then he told me, "Hey, Danny, do you want to do Newcastle for the Summer Nats?" And to be honest, 3 things happened. I couldn't lose enough weight. I was about 22 pounds overweight, which definitely doesn't help in a racetrack like Newcastle, especially racing the Super Mile. That corner, that big ball corner, you're loading 4th gear in the KZ up a hill. I felt it a lot. The motor package that we had was not Greg's power. It wasn't mega power, and we just couldn't figure out the jetting, and we were down on horsepower pretty much all weekend. And 3, I got my COVID shot on Wednesday of that week because I was traveling to Italy week after, and I got terrible side effects. So I was out for like 36 hours. That I had the chills. My right arm was falling asleep. So it was just a bad weekend. One of those.
Nothing was working,
right?
Yeah.
No, everything was it was negative. So, and that was my last race with Greg. And then, Greg and I talked back and forth. I started, I was like, "Greg, next time I race, I'm going to make weight. I will promise you to my life, if I go race, is to make weight." And we decided to do 2 classes in Rock the Rio. And, Rock
Vegas.
Yep. Yeah. And we decided to do VLR. So I raced VLR here in Costa Rica, and the weight is 355. So, I told him, "Listen, I can get skinny, but you need to help me out getting some titanium stuff, a small tank. We're going to rip the stickers off this freaking go-kart. We're going to make it as light as possible." And he did. He invested in the titanium parts, and I made the weight. I made 353 on the VLR. Wow. And I actually had to put weight for the rock shifter. And the weekend the weekend just started incredible. In rock shifter, we're extremely dominant. We got the pole position in VLR, got second in rock. And it's just, I don't know, Greg and I come Vegas, he's another level. Like, I call him every day at 11 o'clock at night. He's working. He's at the shop. He's busting his butt. He's a one-man show. He does this because he loves it. He pushes like people at, he's crazy. He loves it. He's 60 odd years old. I don't know if he's 60, 50. I don't know. He looks 60. Just tell him he looks 60.
I don't think he looks 60. Maybe mid 50s. I think he and I are the same age, actually.
I'm just kidding. But you know what I mean. He works so hard. He's working at the shop. Just talked to my mechanic. They're finishing out the go-karts. We have 18 drivers for this weekend, next weekend. So it's just a relationship that we bonded. At the end of the day, it's not really more of a racing relationship. It's more family come now. He respects that I'm trying to make a career out of racing, and whenever I can come and help the team, help the drivers, and help leading edge, I'm always going to be here. And I think that's one of the coolest things, that we bust on each other. We treat each other like family. He tells me to screw off, I tell him to screw off. So it's not like we're ever mad at each other. I know how he gets. He's stressed out sometimes, and it's just a relationship that it's not like a team relationship. It's more of a family, and I think that's why our come to the race that requires everything to be perfect and the most pressure. Like, I heard everyone saying that they don't care about this race and they're trying to come with a different mindset. I come here to win. I go to SuperNats and I'm gonna go win. And if I can't win, I'm gonna try. And that's what we all do. And Greg is the same way. But at the same time, because if it's such a family relationship, there's no pressure in between me and Greg. If we're fast, we're fast. If we're slow, we're slow. We're going to try to figure it out. So I think that's one of our key successes, that we just, it's more of a, let's go have fun. And I think we're fast enough. You know what I mean?
Do you think you've worked with a number of different race teams, worked on a number of different chassis? You had that success with Gilbo and DR Kart. Do you think that that family atmosphere is kind of what you thrive in? Do you think that helps better because you've been in different atmospheres where it's kind of more like business? Do you think it's better to be in a family atmosphere more than a business? But does that translate in the car program as well too?
To be honest, in karting, I like a team that lets me do whatever the hell I want. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and we try whatever they want. But I'm not a guy that I go to teams like, I want to try a stiff axle, and everyone in the team is running soft, and they're like, no, you can't. I'm like, well, I'm 6 foot tall, freaking 180 pounds, and it's all in my head. Obviously, I need to run a different setup than my best friend, my best friends that are, 5'5", 130 pounds. So I think that's why me and DRT and Leading Edge of Thrive is that they let me do whatever the hell I want. And if it doesn't work, we just go back and start all over again. And Dave, it's nice that you mentioned that in Super Trofeo this year, my engineer, Jeff, and I, and the whole team really in WTR, kind of have that bond. I come in and, the Super Trofeo, you could do a lot of stuff, but it's not really, DPI, GTD level stuff you could do. You could change the springs, you could change the toe, you could change the ride height, but you can't really go all out and change everything, right? So there's a baseline you kind of stick with, especially the springs, because it's a big change. Have that relationship, like, okay, the car's understeering, on power out. And I tell them, it's definitely a harder process for me because, and like I said, in a go-kart, I come in, I'm like, great, I go inside the trailer, grab the axle I want, and go and put it on the go-kart. Yeah, it doesn't really work like that. Go tell the mechanics of the Lambo, I want you to change the springs and change the rake. No, it doesn't work like that, right? And it's something that you kind of have to switch chips, right? Because you have to talk to your engineers, write it down, tell them where it's doing it. But that's something really cool that you mentioned that, because me and my engineer, let's say I tell him, okay, the car has power understeer in turn 5. I think we should try this. And he's like, I agree with you, Danny. We should try this. If it doesn't work, we try that. You know what I mean? So the relationship is there. And I think that's why we had great success with WTR with a couple wins this year, because it's a really good relationship. The whole WTR became family to me. Like when we were in Italy for the World Championships in Super Trofeo, when we left, we're like all tearing up that we've seen each other all year, every month, and we're not going to see each other until like March of next year when we start testing. So it was something really cool for such a big team, such a big organization. Like WTR is one of the best teams, if not the best team of sports cars racing in IMSA. To be like a family, like a compact family with 50 people that went there every weekend. So that helped me a lot, that the team was that like super family, super nice. And it helped me, just feel really comfortable with the team.
So let's wrap up with the SuperNationals now. Does it matter that you won Rock Vegas? Do you need the confidence coming in to the SuperNationals? Or do you just know that every time that a big event comes like this, that you and Greg are going to be able to step up and get something done?
To be honest, this year, the only thing that is not the same as last 2019 is our engine program. We're going to run an engine program run by Greg and another guy. I don't know if I could say yet, so I'm not going to say who it is.
Keep it
quiet. So that's the only thing that's different. I have 100% trust in Greg. I think our chassis in the streets is, if not the best go-kart there is, one of them at least. We legit, how it comes out of the trailer, that's how we run it. That's how I ran Rock. We never changed anything, absolutely nothing. So that's really cool. But yeah, I think with the cooler weathers at night, especially being in North Vegas, which a little more windy, I think it's definitely going to suit me. I was actually looking forward to a different racetrack, as I love adapting to new racetracks. I'm quite good at that. But 2019, I thought the racetrack was going to be super easy and super boring, and I had the biggest win in my karting career, so I can't say I didn't like it. Hopefully, there's some curves I could hit. Through the chicane, they put some big old curves and I just fly over them. But yeah, apart from that, I think the racing is going to be amazing. Me and Kremers have been going at it on social media, just busting each other super hard. It's been super funny. And
that's good. I like that.
It's only me and him that are busting each other, but there is so many fast guys. I think out of America, AJ and their KZ program has been dominant. Really, his engines, his chassis, the way he drives the KZ, his chassis. I think he's going to be tough to beat. But again, this is more of my playground. You know, I hope it's extremely bumpy. Hope it's extremely rough. I hope everyone hurts their ribs, because that's where that's exactly where I thrive and just love the bumpiness, and the most sketchy, the better.
There you go. Danny Formel, thank you very much. We appreciate you hanging around. Wait to the end of this show. We wanted to chat with you. You're the man when it comes to Las Vegas. Good luck. We'll see you there next week.
Thanks, Rob. Thanks, David. I'll see you guys Tuesday.
Yep.
Danny Formal, 3-time winner of the SuperNationals. He and Greg Bell from Leading Edge Motorsports. You put that mega power together with the Formula K, and that guy just gets the job done. There's no doubt about it, David. When the chips are down, we see he talks about how big he is, right? He's a big guy, all upper body weight. Doesn't work as well in the go-kart. He's not that stereotypical 5'5", 140-pound guy that karts are built for.
He's not a Kremers. Kremers is built. He's built for karting, where Formal's built for football or basketball.
That's right.
That, he mentions the rough tracks. We've seen him jump curbs everywhere across the country and around the world, even at Rotax Grand Finals and everywhere else. I remember that tag senior year in 2011. And again, he had that massive lean.
Remember that?
He would just lean the cart in all the different corners. And it was just, I think he started outside the top 10. And I want to say he just kept getting position after position and got himself up to second. It was a great drive. And ever since then, he's had my respect for sure.
And David, it's that he'll dive into a corner shouldn't be able to get the car to rotate. Just
and he does.
The body, and it just rotates around.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing work.
Always, again, one of the great characters, one of the great drivers in North American karting right now, Danny Formal. All right, let's get to it, David. We'll be able to go through the list a little bit of the drivers that we have to look at. I've got my sheet open here. Let's start with let's go your predictions, then we'll kind of look at the rest of the guys that we think could be in there. Here's the predictions for D. Cole.
Here it is. There's a notable name missing. I'll get into that a little bit, but I do have some. Danny mentioned it before. AJ has been very dominant throughout the season, and I think this is just where everything comes together. He's got 5 Pro Tour wins on the season. He didn't quite get the mark there. Danny got him at Rock Vegas, but I think, Supernats wise, I think this is going to be AJ Meyer's year. And again, I look back to when he jumped on the scene back in 2014 and he drove to 5th in KZ. So he knows the KZ program, loves the KZ program, and it's been showing all season long. So I have AJ Myers scoring the victory. I have Jake French, the Susan Lucci of Pro Shifter right now. I mean, he's been finishing second all season long. I know a lot of old people will get that mark, but none of the young guys. But he's just been right there on Meyer's bumper and just not enough to get by him. And so I have Jake finishing in second. I have Formal in third. I have Danny finishing in third. Again, won last year. I think he has the ability to win. It's just, these are kind of just my odds and the way I see things unfolding. And again, I think he's going to be there all weekend long. I think it's really going to be these 3 drivers that are going to be up front all weekend. I have Brent Cruz, the young gun, finishing in 4th. I think he proved it at the Pro Tour Summer Nationals that he can run with these guys. He can be right there. I didn't pick him in KA. I just don't think I think all of the focus is going to be on Pro Shifter, and I think he's going to prevail and be able to put 2 Leading Edge Motorsports Formula Ks on the podium come Super Sunday. And then also to the podium, we got to have a Track Magic back. Kyle Wick is going to be aboard the Track Magic colors. Everybody came in 2019. It was a big show to get the Track Magic name back on the KZ podium. And I think Kyle Wick's going to do that in 2021. Wick he's grown as a shifter kart driver, gotten better and better, even though he's won the Pro Tour Championship back in 2018. I think or 2019, I believe it was. He's gotten better and better. And I think working with GFC and the entire crew there, I think he's going to be able to get on the podium again.
There you go. All right. I hear where you're coming from. Let's bring mine up. Let's have a look what I got here for my thoughts. I'm going Danny Formal. And for me, I think and I got AJ Myers in second, right? You and I are very much the same with the top three drivers that we've seen out of those guys. The way Danny works when he gets to these races, these big major races, when he can get the thing to get working, when he and Greg Bell are lined up and they make things happen. He's a big event driver. That's the best way I could put it. When the chips are down, Formal's going to step up. Just like a quarterback that can go and get the job done at the Super Bowl all the time. He's the guy that's not going to drop the ball.
So you're saying he's Tom Brady. He's the Costa Rican Tom Brady.
He's the Costa Rican Tom Brady. I like that. Well, I'll go with that. That's probably going to make its way to the broadcast too. Then I have a feeling. So yeah, I'm going with Formal to win. But AJ Myers again is going to fight him to the very end. AJ has been ridiculously impressive, really over the last 2 years. The whole Magic Kart program and Checkered Motorsports and what they've been able to do. Man, AJ's just impressed me so much all year long. He's growing. He's getting more and more mature. And that could be one of the things that plays out to who's going to take this win. I got Jake French P3 because I think if Formal steps up, French will go to that spot behind Myers. Unless Jake can find a little bit more, they'll need to step it up. I've got Kremers. Now he's with PSL. Mario, remember, almost won the thing before. Didn't they have like a late race full course yellow or something, or a red flag for an issue? And he had the race. He had the race essentially won that one year. Remember?
That was in 2018. And when
yeah,
they had a red flag come out while he was leading, restarted the race, was not able to get up to speed quickly when the green flag restart happened. Ended up finishing in the second spot. That was the year that Leonardo Lorandi won. So and again, him and Formal were 1-2 all the week. Or Kremers, I think, was number one all week, and then Formal just turned up the wick a little bit there on Super Sunday. So two runner-up finishes for Kremers in the last two years there at SuperNationals.
And I'm putting Kremers P4 behind the regulars on the program here in the U.S. And I'm with you with Brett Cruz. I just think he's going to have a really good run. I like what he's done. I think he's getting more mature and getting more comfortable. And I think that he'll have a really good, strong run to P5. But David, literally, man, you look at the list. There are so many really good guys that we haven't talked about. You talk about the Magic Kart guys being good, so you got to think Andrew Pedozzo's probably going to be in the fight there as well. I scrolled down and look at Austin Garrison, was pretty strong at Rock Vegas for the Rawlson Performance Group as well. Billy Musgrave, let's see what he does. Billy's kind of had a rough year. Neither you or I picked him to be in the top 5, but here's a guy with 4 SuperNationals wins.
Yeah, but we're in a different formula, really, to be honest, because again, everybody was on the same engine in Pro Shifter back in 2019 when he was able to pick up that 4th victory, and then again in the previous years that he won as well. This year, and again, that's something we don't know in our entry list. We don't know who's going to be on what engines. He's been with the IAME engine. I have him listed as IAME, but he's the only one I have. There's only maybe 10 drivers that I have listed for engines because that's something that Superkarts USA didn't collect the information for because that's more of a tech item. So that's something that we're going to have to follow both in Master Shifter and in the Pro Shifter category are the engine selections for all the different drivers.
So let me just throw some other names out that I thought were cool to see. Mateus Ramirez, who with Track Magic had a good run in KZ a couple of years ago. Remo Rossetti coming down with Italian Motors. He'll be there in the field as well. Here's a guy I want to give a shout out to for sure because he's always super fast and he's like the aging veteran is Ronnie White. Let's give a shout out to Ronnie. I'll predict he's in the top 10.
Well, if you look at my spreadsheet, I had to go really, really, really to the right because it was back in 2003 when he last won at the SuperNationals. So that's a long. That was before my time.
Bobby Wilson that race.
That was at the Rio, the last. The second ever at the Rio because 2012, it was 2002 and 2003 were the first 2 years. So, but yeah, I mean, he has the ability to run top 10. I think he ran at Rock Vegas, was in the top 10 or near the top 10. So he could be there. Some other international drivers, where'd it go? Maximilian Paul.
Oh yeah.
With the DR kart, he's always been quick. Was third the last 2 years in the KZ category. Agreed. So he's going to be carrying the DR kart banner with DRT Racing and Don Gilbo.
I like seeing Jack Crawford on the list as well for Nash Motorsports. Just a guy who almost won X30 Senior a couple of years ago, but got kind of checked up. I think it was 2 years ago, right? 19 when he got checked up. Was that? Remember he was in the battle there. At the
he was still in junior.
Was that
junior? He was still in junior. Yeah.
I guess it would have been in junior. Are you sure?
That's what I have listed.
I'd have to go back and look.
Yeah,
maybe you're right.
Yeah.
All I remember is him getting shuffled around at the very. I thought it was his senior. We're gonna have to go back and look at this, David.
Yeah. I can. Yeah. Keep talking about other names, and I'll look.
I'll go to. Well, anyways, Jack. Let's talk about Jack a little bit. Had a really, really strong year this year, running over in Euro Formula Open, and did some races in the FIA Formula F3 series. And I really have a thought that he's potentially on the fast track to try to get his way to F1. So we'll see what happens with the Red Bull sponsorship. But good to see Jack back here. Of course, the Texan coming back to do some karting. I love seeing him on that grid. We talked about Foray already. Who else? Oh, Jacob Gulick was a driver that we saw do pretty well in the Pro Tour.
Yeah,
had a couple of really good runs. So Gulick, I think, could step up a little bit in the GFC. And again, you know what? I know I've been kind of going back and forth a little bit with Gary Carlton. We're going to be doing a book at podcast about Gary, one of the absolute legends in American karting. We're going to do that hopefully before Christmas. And I know he's been hard at work, David, getting things done for the GFC team there.
Yeah, you're right. To confirm, it was third place in 2019 X30 Senior for Jack Crawford. Senior. So he won in 2017 and finished second in 2018. So 3 straight podiums for Jack Crawford at the SuperNationals.
And I have a sneaking feeling it might have been Danny Curl who gave him a bump and run in the final hairpin coming onto the front straightaway. I think
he did finish second.
He did. There you go. That's what I think it was. I'm pretty sure, as I recall. But again, Jack did a great job there. So we'll see what he could be. He could be a dark horse. He hasn't been in a kart, obviously.
Yeah, he did rock Vegas. Didn't really. I don't think he broke into the top 10 at all during the week. But it could have been just kind of like a warm up for SuperNationals. Right? We're not sure, but you're right. He hasn't been in the cart as often as a
lot of car racing.
Yeah.
A lot of car racing for sure.
Yeah.
So David, that wraps it up, baby. That's it. We're done.
That is it.
So, we are finished for this edition, the second run of our OutLap Preview podcast. We see Mike Smith been doing a lot of commenting here. We're going to have him in the booth with us at the Cooper Tire Broadcast Center in Vegas. Looking forward to that. Shout out again to Trinity Karting Group and Sean Bailiff and the whole crew for presenting this edition of the OutLap. And a couple people have asked about that guy right there. 1995 IKF Duffy for Mr. Danny Hodap. Screaming Eagle as well. From Pat's Acres. So that's the Duffy I got hanging out behind me here right now. But David, man, listen, it's more previews to come. Talk about that a little bit. So those of you who know what's coming on the website, we got what, 3 more days of previews, right?
4, technically 4. So
you don't even know. You're like, what?
4. So, well, I had to figure it out. So tomorrow is Thursday, Thanksgiving, here in the U.S. And we have the Master Shifter and X30 Master are going to be published tomorrow during the day. We'll have the KA100 Senior preview on Friday. We'll have X30 Senior on Saturday, and then our Pro Shifter category on Sunday.
I'm working on a morning coffee to run on a column to run on Monday while I travel. David will be packing things up to get ready to travel on Tuesday as well. We got SuperNats coming, and Dave, great idea. This was his idea to do this preview podcast live. I like this. We'll do more of these. I like the interview process and the format. We'll do more of this in 2022, I think, right?
Yeah, they won't be 2 hours long. They'll be probably a little bit quicker, maybe 30 minutes to 45 minutes. And, we'll hopefully start that up right away when we get into the 2022 season. We'll obviously beginning with the Superkarts USA Winter Series and then the other events that will be challenging in Americas and then again, all the others that we'll be doing with the EKN Trackside Live program.
Well, folks, thank you so much for joining us here. And again, this will become a podcast. Those of you watching right now will turn it into a podcast. It'll probably play on the EKN Radio Network soon as well. I know David. Tomorrow. David gets
hopefully
that thing
if done. I get the edit.
Sometime tomorrow it will start playing. Then we can play it for a couple of days on the EKN Radio Network. Otherwise, it is SuperNats time. It's time for me. I'm on the West Coast. I haven't eaten yet. It's dinner time for me. David's probably ready to go to bed pretty soon. Folks, thank you so much again. We appreciate it. Big shout out to Trinity Karting Group and those who are stepping up to sponsor and support our EKN broadcast of the SuperNationals, including the Alan Rudolph Racing Academy, Acceleration Kart Racing, and a number of other groups that are joining on board with us as well. Big thank you to Kartlift as well. They just signed up today. If you want to sign up to be part of that, feel free to send me a DM or email me, and we'd be happy to talk to you about opportunities to be part of the EKN partnership team for this year's broadcast. Looking forward to it for sure. On behalf of David Cole,
other way,
Rob Howden, book it.